Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch.
Hello, everybody. Welcome and happy Thursday. It's your boy, Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, the show we basically talk about all things going on in pop culture and hot topics. So if that is a show for you, definitely stick around because we got a lot of tea to spill today, including we got to talk about some sad news that we've just found out regarding Danny Glover being diagnosed with Alzheimer's. We also got to talk about Sadie Sink being saying that she wound up doing Spider-Man Brand New Day, didn't even get an audition, didn't even know who the hell she was playing until she got to London. We also got to talk about X-Men 97 creator Beau DeMayo, who claims that he was very honest with Marvel before they fired him over his OF work, and said he also felt like a DEI hire, that they wasn't really there for him and he was experiencing a lot of racism and stuff behind the scenes. Plus, we have an interview with Rico Starr's very own Alán that we're going to be getting to. So we're going to get into some things and discuss whatever he's got going on, including his clothing line and things of that nature. And also we got to talk about, I don't know if y'all heard, but there was this series coming out about JonBenét Ramsey. That was a limited series over there at Paramount Plus. Well, apparently Netflix picked it up and it's about to come out. Also, we have Helen Slater, who was the original Supergirl, is coming out in support of the new Supergirl, Millie Alcock. We also got to get into that criminal in the goddamn White House who's talking about how he received $10.7 million fee for Amazon's Melania documentary and how much he accumulated from them little meme coin scam he got going on. So we'll get into that. Plus, we got to talk about Belle Calise, aka Cardi B, done took dumbass trashy K to court again, and now she's getting $60,000 from her dumb bald-headed ass. So we'll get into that. Plus, we got to talk about, speaking of hair systems that need to be just completely whacked off, we got to get into Jermaine Jackson, who apparently scored a legal win as he was accused of grape. We got to talk about Wheezy, gremlin-looking ass, who wants to run around and not show up at shows that he does. He was actually one of the worst shows I ever worked when he came to the Garden. We'll get into that. Plus, we got to talk about T.I. and Tiny got no money in that punitive damage case regarding the OMG girls. Collin Gosselin out here about to spill a tell-all about his psychotic Karen-ass mother. Kate Gosselin never liked the bitch, but we're going to get into her. And we got to also talk about François Arnaud, who threw shade at who we like to call over here cardiovascular, because I don't know what that walk was that he was doing on the runway, and said that he got the charisma of Drywall. So we'll get into that and a whole lot more. So before we get to those topics, if you can please do me a solid and hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to smash that notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please and thank you. Now, without further ado, let me hit and see what the peoples is up in here saying. Sailor Mermaids in the building. How is everyone doing today? We're all doing well. First of all, it's hot as hell outside. What's the weather? 95 degrees, but my damn thing said the high of 100. I went outside to go get breakfast. I walked 2 blocks and I was like, oh, hell no. But I was on a mission. I had to go get my food. I already ordered it. He said, big day for homosexual people. Yeah, it is gay Christmas Eve. Madonna and Hillary Duff weekend. I feel bad for William Warwick because if the reviews and fans are true statements that the second half of the album is real, well, that's what I said. She ain't working with him no more. Madonna is done with William Orbit for reasons known only to them, or whatever it was that Joan Crawford said in that Mommy Dearest movie. But anyway, so without further ado, let me hit my banner and let's get in our first topic, which is Danny Glover apparently just announced, I think he did an interview with Good Morning America, and then I saw that he did it, there was an interview in People, where I got the story from, that Danny Glover apparently announced he has Alzheimer's. Now, I love me some Danny Glover. I love him. Look, ever since he played Mr. in The Color Purple, I have lived for Danny Glover. I also liked him in Predator 2, which was not a good movie, but he was good in it, and the Lethal Weapon movies. So Danny Glover's always been that guy over the years, and now he just revealed, and I saw him in a picture with that old purse-lit coon, Jonathan Majors. But nevertheless, let's get into the story. So He said, it's like a big party was here. This is what he said, gazing around the dining room at the family caregivers and people crew around him and breaking into his famous broad smile. Now, in the 50 years he's lived in the historic San Francisco townhouse, there's been no shortage of celebrations. Fellow Hollywood star and icons like Harry Belafonte have visited his home narrow halls filled with striking works of Black artists as he profoundly held court. But today's intention is different. Now, sitting down for People's interview, the beloved veteran actor who will turn 80 on July 22nd is just trying to get his bearings. He said, I think he's aware sometimes and then sometimes not. That's what his daughter, Mandisa, who's 50, why does the name Mandisa sound familiar? Wasn't there a girl named Mandisa on American Idol? That's what I think I heard that name from. Her words prove true throughout his interview, during which Glover opens up for the first time about his life with Alzheimer's disease, often toggling between unfinished thoughts and poetic personal tangents. There's also times where he speaks lucidly to say, I'm still not accepting of my mind all parts of it. He says of his diagnosis, there are the moments that you keep remembering that validate the fact that you can't remember stuff, and there are moments I'll never forget. But the world, he surely had an unforgettable journey. Now, after acclaimed performances in Broadway and in breakout films like 1984's Places in the Heart and 1985's cultural touchstone, The Color Purple, Glover won millions of fans over with his turn opposite Mel Gibson in the 87 action blockbuster Lethal Weapon. The movie launched a hit franchise, sent his career to new heights, and helped usher in an era of broader opportunities for Black actors. Now, with family-friendly films like 1984, 1994, this was one of my favorite movies. Angels in the Outfield. That movie had me doing this the whole damn time because it was him and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I think that might have been the first time I actually seen Joseph Gordon-Levitt in a movie, but I love that freaking film. As corny as it was, I mean, it was my childhood. So, so I love me some Angels in the Outfield. And he was in Beloved, which I couldn't watch that movie. Number one, I was like, at that point, I think I was over Oprah always playing a. No, it's for somebody who got up in that billionaire status. She always felt like, oh, I need to balance it out. So while I'm a self-made billionaire, I got to keep playing slave roles in order for people to take me seriously and make them realize that, you know what, maybe I am of the people. I'm like, sis, you ain't know the people. Quiet as it's kept. Oprah been out of touch for eons, and you could ask, what's his name, Ricky Smiley on that, because he said that the other day when she tried to throw Whitney Houston under the bus when she wasn't here to defend herself. So then he said, and in 2022, we took home the Oscar Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award for his lifelong dedication to charitable work and activism. That year, Mandisa, his only child with first wife, Asake Bomani, says he started to notice a difference in his behavior, saying the history of my dad is that he remembers every single thing back to 1970, what corner he was standing on, who he spoke to, what he spoke about, what color they were wearing, everything. Hell, he'd teach you so much about his parents, and I've heard those stories over and over, and there would be pieces of the story missing. I said, I wonder what's going on. Now, reconciling himself with the diagnosis he received in 2023 is, in some sense, acknowledging that it's happening to you, and at the same time, there are millions of people suffering from it. The actor and his family, including his younger brother Marty, who's 67, who lives with him, came to terms with it together. Now, Mandisa says her father is ready to reveal his diagnosis and share what it's like to face the disease, saying it's important to him to be of service. I don't feel like it's the end of my life. There's work to do. Now, hearing about all of this, because it goes on into his whole past and his career and all this other stuff, this is sad to hear because it's something like when you're an actor and you remember every aspect of your life, and then all of a sudden, and every minute detail, and I think that was always the good things about being a performer, is that you can always rely on the brain to just take on so much stuff, and you remember things, and you just spit it out, and now it's like you can't even recall certain things. Pieces are missing, and then there's days where it's just like it comes back, and then there's days you wake up and it disappears. And it's always sad that when you hear stuff like this. And so shout out to you, Danny Glover. Hopefully this won't be the last that we hear or see from you. I don't know if he has any other performances that he's done, but I don't want it to be in a situation where y'all do him like y'all did Bruce Willis. Remember when Bruce Willis was sick and he had that frontal temporal dementia and they were working him to literally down to the bone? It's like, y'all could clearly see this man is not at his best and y'all still got him out here performing. So with all that being said, yeah, shout out to you, Danny Glover. So I want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story regarding this sad news that Danny Glover has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's? So whatever your thoughts are, I mean, and I'm sure there's many people who could possibly relate to someone in their family either having Alzheimer's and dementia. Like I can actually relate to having someone in my life that has Alzheimer's, and that would be my mother's mother, my grandmother, where she remembers certain things and she forgets certain. I'm like, I would have a conversation with her, and then 10 minutes later, she's gonna repeat it and all this other stuff. And there was a period where me and my grandma did not get along, but now I've gotten to a place where forgive, forget, move on. It was a time back then. I don't want to just like and get like fully divulge into the past, and I don't like holding on to that because first of all, you holding on to things that happened to you in your childhood and all that trauma stuff, you end up with crow's feet. You end up looking older than Methuselah, and I ain't trying to be out here looking like all my melanin about to disappear because I'm sitting here holding on to this hatred of things that happened to me in the past. You can't do nothing about that except let it go, relax, relate, release it into the ether, and then just try to work on yourself and be a better human being. So shout out to you, Danny Glover. And I'll just keep watching your old movies. Even though Mel Gibson get on my root canal nerve, I'm not going to stop watching the Lethal Weapon films because, you know, he's in it. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. It's like, what happened to Bruce Willis? It's sad to see. I mean, his wife has been keeping people updated on what's been happening to him. I've seen a couple of articles, but I just didn't want to divulge in like all that stuff that was happening. Now it's time for Black Hollywood to give Danny every last. Absolutely, they better. They need to do that at like one of the award shows, like maybe the Oscars or something. Or they could have did that at the BET Awards. I mean, y'all was doing everything else but giving out awards. They only gave out 5 awards on the last BET Awards, and that was a 3-hour damn show. But if you got Paramount Plus and no commercials, the hour of commercials literally taking us like 2+ hours. Yes, he definitely needs a Lifetime Achievement Award. That man is giving so much to the industry. All right, y'all. So now let's get into some superhero news. And let's talk about Sadie Sink. So everybody out here is still trying to speculate who the hell is Sadie Sink playing in this upcoming Spider-Man Brand New Day film. Now, a lot of people, including myself, have been speculating she could be playing Jean Grey, which of course I intentionally put this picture up. But she said she had no idea who the heck she was playing until she landed in London. She didn't even do an audition. She didn't even read for the part. She didn't do nothing. Well, reading for the part require an audition. But she was like, no, they heavily guarded this part so much that they had her fly to London. And when she got on set, that's when she found out who she was playing. That would be, well, I'm glad she's young because I'd be like, I'd be filled with anxiety. Like, damn, so you're going to just give me the script right here. Now I got to on the spot, like memorize what the hell's in this damn script. So Sadie Sink is officially entering the MCU at the end of the month, playing a mystery role opposite Tom Holland in Spider-Man No Way Home. Her role is so secretive that Sink has not even appeared in any of the movie's trailers. But there is a shot where they show like somebody with a hood over their head. A lot of people believe that that's her in one of the marketing trailers. And they said, yeah, she's not even in any of the trailers or marketing footage, despite the actor being a Gen Z superstar after her year-long turn on Stranger Things. Internet sleuths are convinced Sink is playing young Jean Grey ahead of Marvel, introducing a younger band of X-Men into the universe, but she's not letting anything slip. Yeah, she's not Tom Holland. She actually knows how to hold a secret. And she just said, you just don't share the secret. It's not that hard. This is what she told Nylon in the cover story about protecting major franchise secrets. The publication enticing adds sometimes, even if she wasn't privy to the details of her Marvel role, Sink was offered her role without an audition, having worked with director Destin Daniel Cretton on the 2017 film The Glass Castle, and she didn't receive a script until she landed in London. Well, I guess, he had her in mind from the beginning. He knows how good of an actress she is. So and that makes sense because I'm like, well, do y'all even know if this girl would even be good enough for the part? But since she's worked with the director before, he probably had her in mind and was like, oh, I worked with this girl before. I know how she is on set. I know what she's capable of doing. And when we were coming up with the ideas of where we were going to go direction-wise with the script, she was perfect for the role. So I'm definitely curious to see who she is playing. But look, I think she is playing Jean Grey. But I knew that because the X-Men is going to be MCU's major. That's their next big priority that's coming up, especially with Secret Wars. So I knew that Marvel was a big deal and had a big brand, especially Spider-Man. This is what she added about all the hoopla around her MCU debut. I know there's a huge fan base, but it feels really big. I think these blockbuster movies are a whole different beast. Fortunately, Sync and her co-star Holland has her co-star Holland to help her navigate Marvel fame, said it was interesting stepping into the space of being a little bit of an outsider in that way, but he could not have been more welcoming, and just the whole crew in general. He was just so relaxed and open, and I felt very at ease. Now, but besides her being in the film, of course, Tom Holland, Zendaya, Jacob Batalon, Mark Ruffalo, John Bernthal. I just heard today that Yelena's in the damn movie. I'm like, well, thank you for spoiling that. So yeah, Yelena, who's supposed to be in, she is Black Widow #2. She is going to be in the movie. And then they said they had like a little intimate scene. She has an intimate scene with Spider-Man, which I'm like, look, if that's going to be a way to get your mind off of MJ, hunch away, even though we know that doesn't work. But hunch away is what I like to say. So I'm looking forward to seeing the movie. I'm looking forward to seeing who she's playing, even though I think everybody feels like they know who she's playing. But yeah, so I want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? I like the idea that, I think it is crazy. It's like, well, damn, I'm glad you trust me enough that you want to put me in a movie without an audition, whatever the case is. But it would be nerve-wracking for me when I'm like, okay, I got to fly from wherever I'm at. I'm assuming LA to London, and then I don't know who I'm playing or what the script entails, or if the script is going to be good. But then again, Destin Cretton has made some great movies. I loved his Shang-Chi. I'm still waiting for us to get a Shang-Chi 2. Say that 10 times fast. But based on the trailer that we've seen so far, I'm really looking forward to the Spider-Man. The Spider-Man looks good, and I'm hearing that it's literally going to kill at the box office because the pre-sales are already through the roof, and people have just been watching a lot of those teaser or the trailers, because I think they released the final trailer the other day. So people have been watching the trailers and all this stuff. Everybody's excited for this new Spider-Man movie, and it looks exciting because we got the Hand, we got the Punisher, we have so many awesome things that's going to be going on in this film. So I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, I want to hear from y'all. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Isn't that the movie where her father was what's that actor's name from The Mummy? Brendan Fraser? So yeah. I never saw The Whale. But I don't know. I don't really like watching them damn depressing ass movies. But anyway, let's get into our next topic. Wait, hold on. What you saying? Cardi being Agbo. I know that was going to be a part of the story that we have later on, sir. But okay, so let's get into our next topic. And let's talk about Beau DeMayo. So Beau DeMayo has recently come out in an interview because X-Men 97 season 2 is out. I didn't even watch it. I just caught up with the second episode of House of the Drag Queen. So, and that was a good one with with all the surprising stuff that was going on up in there. So I haven't watched X-Men 97 season 2 yet, but Beau DeMayo is talking, and basically he said that he feels that he was ostracized, even though that Disney is claiming that he was fired because he was being inappropriate behind the scenes. I just need to know the detail on what's going on. But he said it's because he had an OnlyFans. He said he was honest about it up front, and they were okay with it. But I guess once stuff started coming out, then they want to use that as an excuse. And he also said that he felt like y'all only hired him because he's a black man and a homosexual. So the X-Men 97 creator, who was ousted from the show ahead of its premiere, claimed he was very honest about his OF work with Marvel Studios Animation, adding that he felt like a DEI hire during his tenure with the MCU. He said it was clear. This is what he told Vanity Fair. It was like, it's your personal life. As long as you're not advertising the show on your OF, as long as you're keeping it very separate from the content of the show, it's outside of their purview. Now, recalling comments like, oh, you don't look like a showrunner, or you don't look like a writer. DeMayo explained there was that vibe that I was a DE hire where, oh, they just got a gay black guy because he checks all the marks in his X-Men. Now, before I get to the rest of this, what the hell is a writer or a showrunner supposed to look like? Are they all supposed to be ugly with a receding hairline? Are they supposed to have bad skin? I mean, what are they supposed to look like? There are men that happen to be gay that are also nerds. I don't know where y'all get this from, or it started out as a nerd, but once you get older and once you get a gym membership and all the things that go into that, you too can be fine. So clearly they don't know how the whole gay thing works. They expect, us, if you're a showrunner or you're black, whatever, they're just supposed to look like how some of these straight people be looking once y'all get married. Y'all let your weight go, your hairline's receding, and all that other stuff. So y'all get caught up in that mess. So they were probably intimidated because you have somebody who so happens to be a comic book nerd, which a lot of gay guys happen to be in comic books, because a lot of the undertones, especially when you're looking at something like X-Men, which is always about celebrating the other, that's a relatable thing to a lot of gay people. So I don't understand where they thought with that, but of course he walks in a room and you see somebody fine as hell, of course they'd be intimidated. Now, in addition to earning a season 2 renewal for X-Men 97 before the first even premiered, DeMayo was asked to punch up the ultimately doomed Blade reboot starring Mahershala Ali, saying some of those racist, sexist, homophobic vibes that I was getting before Blade became much more explicit. This is what DeMayo said of returning to X-Men 97. DeMayo abruptly exited as head writer of the Disney Plus Marvel series in March of 2024, ahead of its premiere. Now, at the time, he had completed writing seasons 1 and 2 of the animated series, which premiered to strong reviews, saying, "It has been very traumatic. I thought I was in a safe space and then quickly found out that I was not in a safe space. My therapist is well employed." Now, later that year, DeMayo claimed Marvel notified him that they stripped my season 2 credits over a piece of X-Men fan art he posted for Pride Month. Sadly, this is the latest in a troubling pattern I suffered through while working with X-Men 97 and Blade, he wrote on social media at the time. Now, following DeMayo's claims, a Marvel spokesperson said in a statement, Ms. DeMayo was terminated in March of 2024 following an internal investigation. Given the egregious nature of the findings, we severed ties with him immediately, and he has no further affiliation with Marvel. So what is it exactly that, like you were saying, that what did he do that followed an internal investigation? Because he said that he was open and honest about his OF situation. And you'll get people that'll say, oh yeah, we don't have no problem with it. But I guess when certain people decide to come in and make it a big deal, then all of a sudden the powers that be are like, oh, now it's becoming a problem. Or you always get certain people that when you are open and honest, or you probably are keeping your stuff quiet, you always get those shady ones that'll be like, oh, look what I discovered. So-and-so out here doing stuff behind it. And that's none of your goddamn business. At least I'm getting laid. What you doing? You should be worrying about getting your dick wet or your ass cheeks clapped, instead of worrying about what I got going on over here. But you always get those people that want to come out here and get a gotcha moment at the expense of other people. And then you end up trying to get them to lose their job. And then they'll pull that shit like them dancers did with Lizzo. Oh, I never intended to ruin them. What the fuck was you expecting? So I hate when people do certain things and then they try to, throw the rock and hide their hand in there. Like, oh, I wasn't expecting to go this far. But whatever. So I do wonder, like, okay, so, Beau, but on the other hand, Beau, you've been screaming from the rooftops about this Disney situation for the longest. What are you doing to actually continue your career in the industry? Because if Disney don't want to fuck with you no more, well, you know what? They taking anybody these damn days. Maybe go get you a job over there at Paramount Plus with the Ellisons and all of them over there, because they always got something going on with the mess that they pick. I don't want to say you're problematic, but they're giving a lot of people that are deemed problematic positions over there. So they looking for a little controversy. Go over there and send your application to Paramount. So yeah, he did call now to clear all this up. I should say in September 2024, DeMayo did call the allegations false after his attorney, and he got Brian Friedman, called out Disney's repetitive illegal pattern. And the statement said once it gets challenged or exposed, the gaslighting and the redirection of the blame towards anyone willing to tell the truth starts through an international, well-oiled publicity machine. Because they keep talking about that he was investigated for alleged sexual misconduct, and the credit removal was due to breaches of the two sides' separation agreement. And I believe there was a point where somebody did like an animated photo of Beau dressed as like a scantily clad Cyclops, and it was like an artful design or whatever. And I think they were saying like, okay, this is a problem, and he got in trouble for that because he posted it on social media. So maybe that was their way of looking at it as like, well, we asked you not to interlink your OF stuff with our stuff, but he didn't. What he did was he reposted a picture that someone made fan art of him half naked dressed as Scott Summers. And maybe Disney got offended by that. But I'm like, you know how many homosexuals be watching y'all shit? Like, I don't know why Disney be acting like there's no gays that be watching their stuff. But whatever. It is what it is. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? In regards to Beau DeMayo and what he's speaking out about, look, I've been open and honest with these people about my what I do. Well, I just realized I have my other video open. Anyway, what do you guys think about this story regarding Beau DeMayo and everything he had to say regarding, look, I've been open and honest with these folks over there at Disney about my whole OF, career and things that I've been posting on there. And maybe, look, if y'all was actually paying him a wage that he deserved, maybe he wouldn't have to show his booty hole or whatever the hell it is that he's showing over there. I don't know what he shows on OF. I have seen some pictures, but I haven't like subscribed to see exactly what it was that he was doing over there. And another thing too, just because you have an OF account doesn't necessarily mean you only post in like booty hole shots and ding-a-ling and all that other stuff. There are some people that post like sexually suggestive photos that, when it comes to Netflix, but not Netflix, when it comes to like Instagram, some people post pictures on Instagram and Instagram will flag it. So people create an OF account because like, oh, these pictures that I took that Instagram is cracking down on is because, some people feel like Instagram is also very discriminative against gay men. So they'll go and they'll post those pictures that Instagram flags because all of a sudden Meta's fucking conservative. And then they'll go and they'll post it on their OF and people can go and look at the stuff there. So OF is used for many other things besides showing, explicit photos. But anyway, so I want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below. Yes, he did. And you said, Madonna, 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 Madonna. What was that from the Birdcage? And you said, my sins are my savior from Confession. Everybody's talking about the album. Look, y'all already know I'm going to do my full album situation tomorrow. I'm going to wait. I know that people can actually listen to the Confessions 2 album now because it's being streamed on that gay radio station. But I'm gonna wait, and people have heard it already. I've been hearing a lot of great things. I'm just gonna wait till tomorrow so I can do my full album listening situation and then react, and then we'll do a full episode tomorrow where people can come on and give their thoughts. So it'll be gay Christmas tomorrow. And you said, I love the idea of someone being a creative writer, animator, and also being an OF performer. Okay, a lot of these geeks are freaks and geeks. Oh my god, I used to love that show. There are, what's the name was on there? Wasn't Seth Rogen on that show? And that one he don't talk to no more, James Franco. There are guys who are nerdy that are, yes, there are. But these straight boys don't know nothing about that. That's what I said. I'm waiting until midnight. Well, I was gonna wait till midnight. I've already told you I'm gonna torture myself. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow morning. Confessions 2 has universal acclaim. Looking forward to it. But anyway, all right, y'all. So let's get to our guest that we're gonna bring on. So, are you an out and proud homosexual? Looking for a clothing brand that unapologetically celebrates its homosexualness? Are you looking to cover yourself in a queer line of t-shirts, tanks, and other glittery accessories? Well, here to discuss his brand of homosexual fashions and other things is the one, the only, Eric Alán. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I could. Yay, I did it. Okay. I thought I was going to hit the wrong damn button. Wait, hold on. Let me take you off mute. All right, Beyonce, everybody go mute. Okay, how you doing? Can you hear me? I did take you off mute.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you yet.
Yes, I can hear you. Wait, what happened? Hold on, let me try to go out again and let me bring you in. Oh, I was not expecting. Okay, this looks better. Can you hear me now? Don't tell me I done messed up the situation because I left you on mute. Okay, let me try it again. Did you mute me? And you hear me now? What's going on? Okay, you may have to go out and then come back in then because I don't know what happened. You probably can't even hear me. Well, he can hear me. Hold on.
There, we try something?
Hello?
Ah, hey there.
Yay! What happened?
I have no idea. I mean, we did the test run and everything. I'm not sure what.
I don't look. This is the first time I actually brought a guest on through the new show and everything that I'm doing. So, thank you for coming on, Eric Alán. Great to see you. I know it's been a long time since we actually seen each other in person because I know you're out in Wilton Manors, correct?
Actually, I'm in Miami.
Oh, come on, Miami. I never actually been to Miami. But so want to know, how was your Pride so far? Because you know,
really, really fun. Thank you. Yeah. Lots to do. Lots of. I was busy most of Pride. Busy.
You
with
want to
Rico.
You want to elaborate on which? Oh, okay, sorry. Go ahead. Okay, so now, even though it's July 2nd, which you know has been deemed Gay Christmas Eve, because you know Madonna has a new album coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Are you excited for this new record?
I am. I've been eating up all the remixes, all the new stuff that's been put out there. It's amazing. And I told somebody the other day, I was like, I feel like this is the dance album we've wanted from Madonna for so long. Like, go back to your roots, go back to what we loved you in the first place for. I mean, you know, all the other stuff is amazing and great too, but you know, we want to dance with you. She made us dance, and I love that. So I'm really, really excited. One particular one that I'm looking forward to, I think it's called Love Bizarre or Bizarre Love, or maybe just Bizarre, but that Martin Garrix remix sounded amazing. Yeah. So I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, same. I've been avoiding all the spoilers and all the other stuff, and I know we've been bombarded with so many remixes and all these different versions. I'm like, okay, I don't care about all that other stuff. Before, I used to bombard myself with that because back in the day I used to just buy up a lot of back in the olden days we used to have record stores. I would buy up all the EPs or the imports and the maxi singles and all the other stuff. But yeah, they don't do that like that anymore. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that Bizarre song. I'm also looking forward to hearing the full Danceteria track because I mean, I wasn't around. I wasn't old enough to go to Danceteria, but hearing all the stories and everything about it, I'm just looking to experience that moment. But yeah, I do agree with you that it's been a long time. We definitely need dance music from her because that's kind of like where it all started. And I know a lot of people say, well, Confessions was a dance record. Yeah, there was elements of a lot of dance in a lot of the songs, but it wasn't like a consistent, full out dance album. And I feel like that's what we're getting with it, especially when we're talking about like house music. And I consider myself a house head.
Absolutely, me too.
All right, so even though, you know, because we talked about Beau, DeMayo and all that other stuff and him being fired for, you know, the whole OF situation, I know that one of the things I've known about you is that you also perform in doing adult cinematography. So me trying to be PG over here because, you know, I'm on the YouTube. So, but I know you also mentioned that when we had a conversation that you had also been someone who had lost your job because of things that you've been doing outside of your regular work situations. I don't know if you wanted to talk about that.
You know, sure. I mean, I am not ashamed of it. I'm proud of everything that I've done. I don't regret doing it. You know, that's on them. I showed up to work every day. I performed well. Never any kind of performance issues or anything like that. So I realized that they were just holding me back. And quite honestly, what happened was is somebody actually reported me. So somebody saw it. So that clearly is like a gay person or something like that in the community and had it out for me. Whether they worked where I work or they didn't, or they figured it out or whatever, that's what happened. But to be perfectly honest with you, it is the best thing that has ever happened. All the time and the energy that I was dedicating to that job, which was going nowhere, I've been able to redirect and put it into Rico Starr. And I would say the last couple of months, it's grown significantly. You know, the output is much better. It's just, I've gained so much from leaving that part of my life now. And I have so much more to look forward to. So I'm not even mad. I'm not even, thank you, whoever you are, if you're out there listening, because I'm sure you are. Thank you. And also, fuck you.
oh, that's one of my favorite lines. Thank you and fuck you. When I think about that. But yeah, I agree with you on that because both when I was younger, I've always felt like, you know, whenever I got fired or lost a job, whatever the case was, I used to always be mad, like, well, damn, what did I do wrong? And this, that, and the other. But I think when you get older, you start to look at it as, you know what, that firation was a blessing in disguise. And literally, it's the universe saying, first of all, bitch, you wasn't even happy being at this job in the first place. I'm doing you a favor. You may not see it, but overall, down the road, when you really had that moment when you sitting with yourself and you kind of realize, you know what, you wasn't even happy there anyway. So now I'm just going to take all this energy and focus it into my passion, which for you, you say it's Rico Starr. Now, speaking of Rico Starr, let's talk about her. So what made you want to create Rico Starr?
You know, since I was a kid, like I remember I grew up in LA and there were these things like swap meets is what we call them in LA. They're kind of like flea markets. And as a kid, I remember my mom, she would like paint glitter on shirts and things like that and do stuff. And I was always kind of fascinated by that. I kind of liked it, but you know, I couldn't do that so much because I was a boy and my very macho Latin father was not having that. So that's kind of where I think the initial idea of like bedazzling and glitter and stuff kind of came to me. But then it really happened when I was into music and I was recording my own music and I needed fun clothes and I needed stage wear and I needed stuff. And I couldn't find it. I couldn't find what I wanted. So I would either have to somehow make it or figure it out somehow. And I would just end up doing it on my own. So then, you know, time passed, whatever. And then I just had the idea, there's all these gay shirts, there's all these funny slogans, all this stuff, but nothing's in glitter, nothing's in rhinestones, and nothing's in any kind of metallic. I'm like, okay, so how do I make that work for me? So what do I want to talk about? What do I want to say? What do I want to present to the world? And then it was just everything in all of my designs is literally authentically me in one way or another. So I thought, you know, let me just start with a few pieces, despite people telling me it was a waste of time and that I shouldn't do it and what am I doing and blah, 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 blah. I went ahead and it seems to, you know, people love it. So it was born out of something that I needed that I couldn't find. And I think that's what's been my niche, because I don't know of any of the other major brands doing rhinestones and metallics and glitters and stuff like that, strictly focused on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Because I don't know if you know, but I do have one of your shirts. It has Madonna's name on it in rhinestones, actually, which I will be wearing tomorrow when I do my whole Madonna Day situation breakdown, which will be the album, and then of course I'll be doing a separate video where people come in and talk about their favorite songs, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. I do need that shirt that you have. That's the I Feel So Free shirt. I definitely need that one. But because I saw that, I was like, oh, bitch, I need that one. But yeah, I do agree. Like, I like a lot of your t-shirts and all the looks, because I've gone on other gay websites and I'm like, I don't know if I'm really rocking with these clothes. But I just like the overall, I think I like your stuff because it just feels unapologetically homosexual. And with what was it? Wait, hold on, because I was like, there's particularly one of the type of shirts that I like. Oh, is it this one? Hold on, because I don't know. Well, I'm sure everybody could see. I am going on your website. I like shirts that's kind of like these, where it says "lick my pits," which I have a friend.
That's one of my very first ones and a bestseller.
Yeah, so I always like shirts that kind of look like this, especially that cut, because one of the things is when I go out, I work out at the gym and stuff, you always want it to accessorize your best assets, which for me, I always think like it's my arms and my shoulders. You always want to have like that whole V cut look or whatever. So I just like the overall design of how everything looks. It's very sexy, it's very unapologetic gay, but it's also got it's got a little masculinity up in there. So
absolutely,
like, yeah, and I know some people are like, well, these shirts is kind of expensive. Look, that means that the fabric is gonna last long. That's why it's so pricey. But
when I get confronted with that, and it's always my response to stuff like that is always like, look, you want quality or do you want fast? Because if you want fast and cheap, you can go to Shein. My stuff is not Shein, or big market, whatever. We're not Amazon either. Every piece is crafted, made to order. It's not, bought in bulk or anything like that. It doesn't come from somewhere else. When somebody places an order, that's what puts us into motion. So, it's you're paying for the quality. People are constantly commenting that it's, the best shirt they have, that they survive washing. And that includes, none of the glitter falling off, none of the rhinestones falling off, the metallics losing their shine. So, yeah, they're a little more expensive, but they're 100% worth it. And I won't apologize for putting a quality product out there.
Exactly. And I will say that, yes, I've had that shirt for probably over 2 years. So, and the rhinestones are still on it. So he ain't lying. Now,
there's some pieces from very popular clothing lines, gay included, that you put in the wash and it's done. You wore it once and then it just completely unravels. I won't say who, but I've seen it and I know that exists. This does not happen with my.
Now, question: do you make hats?
Funny you mentioned that. I will be getting into hats. Yes, like caps, baseball caps, and things like that. Yes.
Yay! Because I want to give you some ideas. So, and then you could just send them to me. So I was like, are you aware of the artist by the name of Slater?
Oh my God, I love her. It's so funny because I liked her when nobody liked her, and I'd be like, oh, she's so cool, and blah 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 blah, and they're like, what is that?
Oh no, I was a fan. I'm a fan too. Everywhere. Ever since Trouble Paradise, like we're gonna take it way back to the first album.
The Miami girl.
Is she? I always thought she came from St. Louis, but she
I'm pretty sure. Well, okay, hold on. I am almost certain she's a Miami girl. I could be wrong, but I thought so because I remember thinking, oh, I love her, and she's from Miami. So I could be wrong.
Okay, so we have the Worst Girl in America era. I need you to do the gay version. So we need hats of Worst Boy in America or Worst Gay in America. We need some of those caps. And I want to wear them and all that stuff. So there's some ideas. I gave you that. You can have it for free. You send me them hats for free.
Got it.
Because I was thinking of that the other day. I was like, oh, who could design hats or whatever the case was. So I'm like, if you want to take that idea and make those hats, so it's like the gays can actually have their version of, so because she is going to be touring, and if there's some gays out there that want to actually have those caps, that's kind of like, let the gays come and let's make America gay again and all that other stuff. So if we can have that type of stuff and the gays will just be out here just living their life with the innate caps or whatever, then so be it. So yeah, so speaking of Rico Starr, we already talked about Rico Starr. So you mentioned earlier that you got into a lot of what you're doing because you were doing music and you didn't have any clothes and stuff to wear, which I always find relatively interesting. Similar to you and Slater, since we brought her up, she was saying that when she didn't have money or whatever the case was, that when she was out performing, she would design her own stuff. So, I know you from music or whatever because let me take the website off. Anyway, so how we met through music is that you went to this little party that was happening yearly over in New York called Madonna Worship, which was at Stonewall, I believe, at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you was up on stage looking all sexy and stuff, singing deeper and deeper about Madonna. So, and I was like, that's how we met, grew our friendship and all that other stuff. So, I know you mentioned that you were doing music and stuff in the past, but I know like Rico Starr is basically taking over in your extracurricular activities. Would music be something that you would be considering getting back into?
It is. In fact, I talked to my producer ever since leaving my job. I actually reached out to my producer. I'm like, you know what? I have some time. It's been a while. I do miss it. I miss every aspect of performing. Every aspect. The rehearsal, the time, the dancing, the preparation, everything. I love it. And so, there's absolutely, I would love to do something. Maybe if it's just a little EP, maybe, a couple of dance songs and a ballad or something like that. But I definitely have that on my radar.
Mm-hmm. And we definitely need that because we've been having these conversations on the show so many times about that we need some gay artists out here that are making unapologetically gay music. I mean, we have a few people. I mean, everybody wants to talk about the Troye Sivans and the Sam Smiths or whatever, but we also have those actual queer artists. I mean, Sir Ari Gold, may he rest in peace. Kevin Aviance is still making music. There's an artist by the name of Jordy that's been making some really good pop music. Who's the other one? Tom Aspall. He's been making some cute stuff too. So we got some of the gays out here still making music. We ain't gonna talk about Jussie Smollett and them vocals the other day at Harlem Pride, but for the most part, the gays is out here making music. So it's good to hear that that would be something that you're considering getting back into.
Speaking of that, I do want to highlight Bright Light. He was.
Oh yes, him too.
And he wore a Rico Starr disco ball shirt on stage, as well as did a photo shoot in the pink pride shirt. So that was really, really nice to see.
Yeah, especially when there's artists out here who are wearing your designs. I know that definitely would make me gag if I was a designer and somebody was out here wearing our stuff, because I do feel like the gays definitely need to be out here who are artists wearing clothes that would be specifically geared towards them, instead of having to be like, well, I got to go break the bank to go wear something from some other designer, or you have somebody make your clothes, like we hear from some of the Drag Race girls where they giving their money to some of these designers and y'all don't be making their shit, and then they got to go and figure out how to get their stuff made. We've heard those stories many a times.
Speaking of Drag Race, one of the shirts that's actually in the Fetish collection right now, just launched today, was on Drag Race. Season 6, episode 2, I think.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, do you want to talk a bit about the fetish line? Because I know you did launch that yesterday. I don't know if we talked about it. I mean, I was showing stuff from your website.
That was actually the campaign. So, yeah, sure. It's basically a line of, I guess, just kind of nothing new within the community, I don't think, but it's more of like kind of just putting it out there, something that maybe people don't talk about as much, but it's a fetish line. It goes into like water sports, chastity, piercings, pit obsession, all of that fun stuff.
Oh, we love a little water sports on this show.
BJ Hammer, he is also an OnlyFans model. He was kind enough to post for some of the photos for the campaign, and which we actually shot at the Eagle in Wilton Manors. So thank you to the crew. Thank you to BJ. Thank you to our amazing photographer, Patty, and also Diego Anza. He's also in the campaign. Yeah, he looks amazing as well.
All right. So anything else you want to add before I let you go?
I just I guess thank everybody for the support, the kindness, the love, all the amazing reviews. And I do want, Rico Starr, yes, it's a for-profit, company or whatever, but I believe in our community. I believe in everything that we stand for, that everybody has the right and the obligation to, not obligation, but I guess the right to feel seen, heard, understood, appreciated, and loved. And that's what Rico Starr is all about. We're putting it out there. We're putting out things to make people feel seen. And along with that, we also give back. So every purchase through Rico Starr, whether it's wholesale to the different stores like Cram Chicago, Circus of Books in North Hollywood, Creative Mail here in Miami, we donate to trans charity organizations as well as LGBT suicide prevention. So that's something that both are close to my heart and that I am able to give back to.
And that is very important because we don't want to keep losing a lot of young people wherever to taking their own lives, especially because they're being discriminated against for being themselves. And we hear these stories a lot, especially, with me growing up and having to see so many young people being ostracized, kicked out of their homes for being queer. So that is much appreciated.
Well,
that is much appreciated.
Thank you.
Say it again.
I was just going to say, it's not only young people because,
yeah, it's adults too.
Even me with losing my job, the official reason was, your online presence. So, and when am I online? I'm gay. So, it's a universal theme and it's just, it has to just stop. So I do my best to help where I can.
Absolutely. All right. So I want to thank you, Eric, for coming on and taking time out of your busy schedule to promote your brand. And for those of you who are interested in checking out Rico Starr, I did put the website at the bottom, ricostarr.com. Definitely go over there and check and see if y'all want to get some stuff. It is about to be gay Christmas, Chad, tomorrow. So if y'all need some shirts and things to go celebrate the Queen of Pop, especially, and she's going to be touring in 2027, and y'all need a cute little shirt. Speaking of which, her last celebration tour, I remember seeing a couple of people in your shirts. I'm like, wait a minute, let me find out y'all know who Rico Starr is. So I did see people, and I wasn't, and this was at Madison Square Garden, which is where I work also, but I wasn't working there. I was actually, I was at the show. So, because I was like, I'm not working this show. But then next year, when she does tour, however she tours, and if she does do MSG, I'll definitely be working those shifts. But yeah, I did see a lot of people in your in a lot of your gear, especially the Madonna shirts and stuff that you make. So yeah, with all that being said, thank you for coming on once again. And yes, everybody, if you guys want, definitely go check out his website. He's got a lot of cute little outfits and stuff over there. And I'll be looking forward to them worst homosexual in America hats that you're gonna be designing.
Word.
All right, thank you. All right,
thank
have a good one.
You too. Bye now.
So guys, let me know how what you guys thought of that. And also for those of you who are out there, let me know if you have like any designs, clothing lines, businesses. So yeah, this is gonna be a thing that I'm gonna be doing. If you are a homosexual or part of the LGBTQI LMNOP community, wait, hold on, let me take this out. Who wants to have, what is it? Okay, if you are someone who's in the industry or whatever and you're LGBT and you want to come on and you want to promote your brand or whatever the case is, definitely hit me up on all my social media platforms, which you can check out in the description and stuff down below. Now let's get to some of y'all questions. Oh wait, you know what? I did not even open the video. I mean, y'all questions and stuff. Oh yeah. All right. Felix said he lived 45 minutes from South Beach. You said Soft Cell has a song called Dance to. Yeah, I heard that was a conversation that we was having weeks ago with some people that was like, Danceteria, there somebody actually hit me up in my comments. It was like, well, Danceteria, there's a song on the new Soul Cell album. That's probably why she didn't name it that or whatever. Midways did one track like the original Confessions album. There was probably like something old that she did. And you know, says I need these shirts for my life. Are you saying you wanted rhinestone bandanas? That would have been. All right. So you said Wilton Manors is about 20 minutes from where I live. I guess in some of the reviews of the album Bazaar is the Bang Bang of the album. All right. Okay, y'all. So now where are we going? So yeah, I'm gonna definitely want to be doing more of these type of interviews and all the other stuff. So yeah, if this is something that y'all out here and got a business, because you know, the one thing about I've seen some people who bring on different people or whatever, and I was like, okay, so I want to give the gays or anybody from the LGBTQIA plus community an opportunity to come on and promote their stuff. So it's getting off the chest. She also has negative stuff to say about. Well, we'll hear all of that when it comes. I heard there was a song that made people think of. Was Incredible a good song? All right, so let's get back into the show, y'all. And let's talk about JonBenét. So apparently Paramount Plus was in the throes of doing a JonBenét movie with Melissa McCarthy and Clive Owen, I believe. And so they kind of threw it away, put it on the back burner. We thought we'd never see the we never think it would have ever came out. Well, now the light of day. I don't know why I couldn't think of that phrase. But now what's happening is that it was picked up by Netflix. I thought it was going to be a documentary or something, but no, it's actually scripted. So, with all that being said, let's get into this topic. So, apparently, there is a scripted film coming out, and it says the high-profile limited series starring Melissa McCarthy and Clive Owen has been picked up by Netflix, which will release it as a global original this winter, likely tied to the 30th anniversary of the 6-year-old beauty queen's killing, unaliving, of December 25th, 1996. So if she were alive today, she'd be 36. Because she died at 6, it's 30 years later, 36. Now, the complicated series, FKA Unspeakable, the Red Rum of JonBenét Ramsey from David C. Glasser's 101 Studios had been in turnaround since its original platform. Paramount Plus opted not to proceed with it late last year. Now, McCarthy and Owen star as JonBenét's parents, Patsy and JonBenét Ramsey, in the series, co-written by Harrison Query and Tommy Wallach, directed by Anne Sawitsky, and showrun by Richard LaGravenese. Or LaGravenese, if you're Italian. It centers on the infamous unsolved Boulder, Colorado murder case and the devastating personal and public reckoning that followed the death of JonBenét Ramsey, with the story told through multiple perspectives, including the Ramsey family, investigators, and the media, according to sources. LaGravenese, Query, Wallach, McCarthy, and Sawitsky executive produced, with Glasser, Ron Burkle, Bob Yari, David Hutkin, and 101 Studios. You already know, if it's on Netflix, they're going to dump all the episodes at once. Now, commissioned by the previous Paramount regime, the project originated as a pitch by creators Query, who grew up in Boulder and was in the same kindergarten class as JonBenét, and Wallach. It was sold to 101 Studios and Showtime/MTV Entertainment Studios, where the company was based at the time. Now, by March of 2024, the then untitled limited series was eyeing green light, and preliminary casting commenced sooner thereafter. With McCarthy and Owen on board as the parents, the series was formally picked up by Paramount Plus in September 2024 when production began. As filming was wrapping in January 2025, why is this movie? It was sitting on a shelf for over a year. A presenting spot by McCarthy at the Golden Globes, carried by CBS and Paramount Plus, unveiled the working title of the limited series as Unspeakable: The Murder of JonBenét Ramsey. Now, following the August 2025 close of Paramount Global's acquisition of Skydance, that was probably what happened once that whole merger happened, because you already know, initially, when the old guard has an idea, they're interested in a project, and then new people come in and they're like, no, we're not interested in this project anymore. Yeah, the other people were, but we're not attached to this, so therefore we don't want it anymore. And then Netflix is like, you know what? It's already done. It's already been paid for. We'll distribute it on our streaming service, and there you have it. So, and then they also said, I guess, there had been initial concerns that after a cut of the series was screened and deliberated, a decision was made not to go forward with it. The exact reason has not been revealed, but the call is believed to be related, at least in part, to the legal risk associated with releasing the series by Paramount. It stems from the $750 million defamation lawsuit JonBenét Ramsey's brother Burke filed against Paramount Division CBS over the network's 2016 docuseries that pegged him as the person that took his sister's life, which was eventually settled. Now, as a result, Paramount's risk profile is considered higher than any media company when it comes to tackling the infamous Red Room. John Ramsey told Daily Mail in January that if the new limited series portrays Burke as a suspect in his sister's unaliving, the family, which was not involved in the project, would again seek legal action. So I guess it just wiped their hands of the situation. They just gave it away. Now, as Paramount Plus was evaluating the Red Room of JonBenét Ramsey, 101 Studios in late October closed a deal to move from Paramount to its Paramount Television Studios unit, which had absorbed Showtime/MTV Entertainment Studios post-merger to NBC Universal at the start of 2026. Now, after Paramount Plus made the decision not to proceed with the Red Room of JonBenét Ramsey, 101 Studios took the finished series and started shopping it with the involvement of PTVS, which did not retain credit on it. Given 101 Studios' new home at NBC Universal, there was speculation that the series may go to NBCU streamer Peacock. That never materialized, but no indication real conversations ever took place, and by early February, Netflix emerged as the likely destination. It would make sense. Netflix has established itself as a true crime juggernaut with a slew of very popular docuseries in the genre, including Cold Case: Who Killed JonBenét Ramsey, which was released in November 2024, drawing big 13.4 million views in its premiere week. Netflix also has scripted true crime limited series, most notably the hit Monster anthology franchise, which y'all rip apart, but then we all sit and watch it anyway. Now, negotiations for the Red Room of JonBenét Ramsey went on for a few months, with the streamer doing its due diligence, which is believed to have included the legal review. The process ultimately led to a deal, with the series getting an exclusive release by Netflix. The pickup gets the streamer in the 101 studio business. The prolific company is partnered with Taylor Sheridan on all the series and is also behind such shows as Mobland and The Agency. So they also said this marks the return of Netflix for Le Gravignese, who most recently directed the streamer's film A Family Affair, starring Nicole Kidman, Zac Efron, and Joey King. Was that the one where Nicole Kidman was hunching Zac Efron? I think that's what that was. So, but they also said that Netflix recently nabbed 2 queer film projects, also in competitive situation: Kill Switch, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, and The Operator, starring that horrible actor Mark Wahlberg. So there you have it, y'all. I say all this to say, even though I have an issue with like some of the true crime stuff, I am looking forward to seeing this whole JonBenét thing and see how that whole situation turns out. So yeah, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Will y'all be checking out this limited series with Melissa McCarthy and Clive Owen playing JonBenét's parents? And would y'all be interested in checking something like this out? Because, we do love the true crime and stuff over here. But I always find it iffy when y'all start doing these docu-series or whatever. Not docu-series because it's scripted. But when you do these scripted series, because it's like y'all playing into this territory of you don't want to cross a line and then have people out here thinking, are you trying to insinuate so-and-so did something to so-and-so, and then y'all end up in a lawsuit, kind of like how Paramount did when they went and did their little thing, and then the brother basically sued them because y'all had them out here thinking that he did something that he said he didn't do. So tread lightly, Netflix, but they like the controversy over there. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Rhinestone undergarments will be cute too. The flat surface of a brief jockstrap brand. Well, damn, I think it was only like they were selling like accessories and things and that other, because you know they have like all these other companies have was it jock straps and things of that nature. But he did say he coming out with a headline, so that's cute with the t-shirts and all that other stuff. But now, anyway, so let's get back into the show. Hold on, let me make sure I got all my stuff closed out. And let's talk about Supergirl. So the original Supergirl, who did the Supergirl movie back in the day, you know, with Faye Dunaway, Helen Slater, while everybody is dogging little Millie Alcock over her performance, which I've said many a times, she's not the problem when it comes to this movie. What the problem is the script, and there's some pieces of the movie when you watch it, there is some stuff in there that is like, yeah, there's a movie in here somewhere. It was just all over the place and it was a mess. And like I said before, Millie Alcock was not the problem when it came to this. She did what she could do with that mess of a damn script. So Helen Slater is actually coming to her defense in this whole situation, because you know Owen Gleiberman decided to show his entire ass, making his little snide comments about, you know, really going in, and some people felt like it was misogynistic, and I'm just like, whatever. But so the reviews might be a mixed bag, but the new Supergirl just got the ultimate seal of approval from DC royalty. Helen Slater, who famously brought Kara Zor-El to life in the original 1984 Supergirl movie, has shared her 2 cents on the new cinematic iteration, and she's a massive fan of the new Starr. She said the Starr, not the movie. Now, Slater made her feature film debut in the 80s adaptation, and sadly, she knows a thing or two about tough box office reception, because she said that she was actually signed on for a 3-picture deal regarding Supergirl. So it's supposed to be 3 movies. It's supposed to be a trilogy, I guess. But because that first movie was, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was bad. But it's cheesy, it's campy. There's something about that movie that was just like, you know what, this movie is terrible, but I had a good time with it, because I watched it a couple of months ago. It was on, I believe, HBO Max. You can watch it on there. And it was cute. But I was like, oh my God, this movie is terrible. So she said, I love the new Supergirl film. This is what she told THR. I thought Millie Alcock was astonishing, fierce, strong, and great comic timing. Now, Slater's praise does align with the general consensus, and most have singled out Alcock's performance as a positive. Hell, even Owen Gleiberman, absolutely scathing review of Variety, admits she's likable enough. Now, looking back at her own tenure in the Cape, Slater revealed that she was originally signed to a 3-film contract. Unfortunately, those sequels were grounded after the 1984 film underperformed, saying, I know it didn't do well because we didn't make the 2nd and 3rd film. The original film, who famously missed out on a cameo from Christopher Reeve's Superman, but Slater still walked away with a lifelong bond, saying, I became friends with him and he was just the loveliest person on the planet. There was no ill will or strangeness, just a sweet, very protective, mentory kind of person for me. Now, directed by Craig Gillespie and written by Anna Nogueira, the film is based on Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, the comic series written by Tom King and illustrated by Bilquis Evely. Now, after her father is unalived and the one responsible is still out there, a young alien girl named Ruthie Mary Knoll seeks out Supergirl to help her on a vicious mission. She wants revenge, and if Supergirl doesn't help her, she'll do it herself, whatever the cost. Now, of course, you know, Millie Alcock is in the film as Kara Zor-El alongside Eve Ridley, Matthias Schoenaerts, who played Krim of the Yellow Hill. I mean, that villain was just god awful, but I mean, I won't say awful. He was forgettable. Like, and we've seen a lot of villains out here who are forgettable, but he's definitely one of them. David Krumholtz played Zor-El, Kara's father. Emily Beecham is Alora, who I believe is Kara's father, and Jason Momoa basically playing himself, but he's supposed to be playing Lobo. And look, overall, I've said it before, Alcock is great in the part. The movie is generic. It's just okay. So you can watch the film and it's all right. It's a great way to kill time if you need to, if you want to, because look, it's like 100 degrees outside right now. So if you want to stay under some AC and want to watch a movie and kill some time and not be out in this heat, go see Supergirl. But don't expect that is going to be one of the top big major superhero films that you're going to be looking forward to watching, because it's not going to give you that. But I like the fact that we have somebody who played the original Supergirl coming out and defending the new Supergirl. So, you know, all these incels out here trying to just be shady for the sake of just wanting clicks, likes, and attention. It's just like, I'm glad that she came out and is defending her, because like I said, she wasn't the problem. You know, Millie is somebody, and I like actors like this that shows up and you do whatever you do what you can with what you have. And she basically just did what she could with a mid-ass script and showed up and performed. So shout out to Millie Alcock and shout out to Helen Slater. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Helen Slater giving her props to Millie Alcock, even though, you know, Supergirl didn't do so well at the box office. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. I think now that this Supergirl is out, they'll put it on streaming somewhere. I mean, you'll be able to rent it or buy it, but if it's Warner Brothers, it's going to HBO Max. So that's where it'll end up streaming. Wait, did you decide, like, you know what, I'm not gonna go to work today because it's hot? Child, to take the train. You ain't that far from the train station. If I don't want to be out here in these streets. I love that movie too. Wasn't her brother in that movie, Christian Slater? I totally forgot about that. It was like Legend of Billie Jean. I love that movie. And Yeardley, what was her name? Yeardley Smith, who, you know, went on to play Lisa Simpson in the Simpsons. But she was in that, and then she thought she got shot, but she had a period. And then Billie Jean goes and cuts her hair off. And then, of course, we get that song. We were born to be innocent. You know that song from Pat Benatar? Invincible. That was my movie. I remember I used to, every time that movie came on TV, I would sit and watch it, because Channel 11 would always, in New York, they would always show these films or whatever. But anyway, let's move on. Shall. And let's talk about the criminal in chief. So apparently, it has come out. What is the source? I mean, we'll get into the source from later on. So now, Trump's apparently finances have been disclosed, and it's revealed that he received $10.7 million in licensing payment tied to Amazon MGM Studios' Melania documentary. We're also going to get into him making $2.2 billion in 2025 over scamming people out here with them damn meme coins, which we was telling y'all about. And he scammed his own people before the inauguration, doing a whole meme coin situation, and had y'all out here buying up his stuff. So you supposed to be worrying about being the president and this, that, and the other, but you out here scamming your people. And then you wonder why at that little America 250 event, you had like 10 people that showed up. There was more people that was at the Obama museum opening than it was at Trump's little field trip that he was trying to throw. And I know he was tight, because he always trying to compare himself to Obama. Now, in politics or whatever, I got my issues with corporate centrist Democrats. However, big bad Cadillac with them cankles, you ain't never gonna be as memorable or as fierce or as cool or as charismatic as Obama ever in life. So let's get into the story. So Amazon MGM Studios reportedly paid a total of $40 million to acquire Melania, which they overpaid, and spent $35 million to market the movie, which will bring it around like what was it, So about $75 million that they spent on this whole situation. For why? I don't know, because it don't cost that much to make a damn documentary. But his financial disclosure statement also listed $521,161 licensing payment for the First Lady's Melania memoir. How's he getting this money? Where's her? Why is it going to her? Well, number one, with documentaries, people don't really make money from that. But they also said as well as $6 million in net proceeds from NFTs and other collectibles associated with Melania Trump. They're all out here just doing types of scams, money laundering, all this other stuff. And I think somebody even pointed that out. But like, this ain't even no real. This is a documentary disguised as a money laundering scheme that they got going on over there. And we clearly know that the reason why Jeff Bezos is doing all this foolishness is because the minute this man became president, we had all them oligarchs and all those corporate business people, or even a lot of the tech bros, that sort of thing, that was sitting right behind Trump. Now, usually when you're the president, you have your people that are in your corner that are sitting front row, will be all the politicians. But this one, he wasn't even trying to, he was saying the quiet part out loud. He wasn't even trying to hide the situation that he was doing, just hiding in plain sight, and people wasn't paying attention. But my nosy ass, I was paying attention. So we had Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and all of them in the front row. The people that were flooding him, doing all his money, because you flatter him, you kiss his ass, throw a little coins out of his way, he'll let you just run him up and do whatever you want. Which is why we have all these business people, these tech bros, whatever, with the AI and everything, and how I'm seeing videos about our our ecosystem is being all destroyed, where what is like water flooding certain areas and not disappearing, and how climate change is really getting bad, and how we've got heat waves of 110 degrees that are literally taking over the world right now. And this is like, we should be worrying about this maybe 50, 60 years from now, not now. It's like y'all are rushing the process. And when you have people who are just getting rid of anything like that's supposed to help out with the environment and things of that nature, when you're starting to pull back a lot of the funding for those things, these people are destroying the environment. But they don't give a fuck, because what they're doing now is a lot of these billionaires trying to build their little private islands, trying to build their doomsday bunkers and stuff, because they've seen Seasons of Paradise, the ones on Hulu, and they're just trying to create their own little thing while the rest of us sit up out here and just burn to death or whatever, and have to get caught up in the environment being a mess, but they're gonna hide out in their little doomsday bunker. But we've seen enough movies where the people revolt. So y'all need to tread lightly on that foolishness. So they said the president's mandatory financial disclosure statement released Tuesday showed Trump reported a total of at least $2.2 billion in revenue for 2025, more than double from a minimum of $622 million the year prior. Last year, Trump earned roughly $1.4 billion from his family's crypto businesses, including World Liberty Financial, as reported by the New York Times, an investment firm tied to the United Arab Emirates, UAE for short. Government brought a 49% stake in World Liberty Financial in January 2025, raising a slew of ethical concerns, per the Times report. Trump also earns a diverse portfolio of stocks and bonds, including securities and media companies. Yeah, he's definitely trying to. And if you notice, before I get to the media companies that he's got securities in, have y'all noticed that a lot of our media is starting to it is. They're turning more towards Trump or whatever. So he's got all this stake in these places. They don't come at him in a lot of ways, such as they said he got stake in Disney, Netflix, Warner Brothers Discovery, Paramount Skydance. Now you see why he's good friends with the Ellisons, and Fox Corp. And of course, Fox News stay looking to crack at his ass. And in tech companies like Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, and Oracle. The shares Trump owns in Trump Media and Tech Group, parent of Truth Social, are worth around $900 million after the company's stock price has fallen more than 40% this year. Now, in the statement, White House spokeswoman Anna Kelly fed y'all a bunch of bullshit and said this: neither the president nor his family have ever engaged or will ever engage in conflicts of interest. Well, I call bullshit on that, because Rolling Stone basically exposed y'all asses. So Y'all want to know where there's always some sinister stuff behind a lot of the things that he's doing. And I don't think you're supposed to be out here trying to make money when you're supposed to be and doing business deals and all this other stuff when you're the president of the United States. You're supposed to be, as the president, people voted for you. You're supposed to be trying to help make the country better, which, of course, that was never his intent. His intent was trying to stay out of jail from doing his little white-collar crimes and raping, allegedly, well, not even alleged, he's been convicted over 30 some odd times. So, and raping women. So, they said, in this one, let's break down what that means, meaning Trump revealed in financial disclosures that he made $2.2 billion in 2025, up from $622 million in 2024, the year before he returned to the White House. The astronomical sum includes a diverse portfolio of investments and businesses, but is mostly comprised of one brazen cryptocurrency scam. World Liberty Financial, a crypto company that offers the $Trump meme coin, which I told y'all he was out here scamming his people with the meme coin, before the inauguration. And also, wasn't he out there talking about he had a Trump phone and had people buying up the Trump phone and the people still ain't get their Trump phone? And they talking about that we may or may not have this Trump phone for y'all to get. So he done scammed his own supporters out of their own money. And he don't care. Because him and his family continues to get rich, while these people who thought, if I cuck myself to these ideologies, whatever the case is, I too, by proxy, will get a piece of that pie. That was never his intent. Rich people only care about enriching themselves. Took a second for the brain to process. Now, Trump made a staggering $1.4 billion on crypto last year, fueled both by getting his supporters to buy into $Trump and a massive private deal in which a UAE-linked investment firm paid almost $500 million for a 49% stake in World Liberty Financial. So I told y'all that before, but let's break down what that basically means. So, one, Trump sells the meme coin to his followers using his personal social media channels to boost it. This is basically the same scam Trump has been running for years. If you've been in his mailing list since 2016, you've been inundated with ads for physical Trump coins, digital trading cards, and all sorts of commemorative and allegedly collectible memorabilia. Crypto was essentially the same grift with the added flavor that Trump can pass it off as an investment opportunity, something that may pay dividends for the everyday Americans who are duped into buying it. Trump has also taken a host of actions benefiting the crypto industry and thus his and his family's finances since retaking office, while touting the industry publicly. Trump claims that he isn't involved in running these businesses, which is bullshit, and what is about as flimsy as an excuse you can get. Also, wasn't there some type of stuff that when he went and kidnapped that president of Venezuela and put him in our prisons, that there was a shit ton of money that he actually put in his own little personal trust that only he has access to? So he going around robbing Peter to pay himself. I was gonna say to pay Paul, but no, robbing Peter to pay Don. That's basically what we doing, taking people's shit and incorporating it for himself. And thought he was gonna take the Strait of Hormuz from Iran. Iran was like, "Oh no, fuck you! You ain't gonna win this one." Yeah, you started a war with these people, and now you keep saying every 5. Oh yeah, we done with the war. The war's about to end. We're in negotiations. They're not trying to talk to your ass. They're not talking to Dementia Don, who had a whole conversation with Teddy Roosevelt. That was a goddamn AI situation. And talking about they had a whole conversation. The man been dead for decades. The fuck you talking about? So his brain is cooked. So now, in reality, Trump and his family are the only ones getting rich, but it's the other half of the windfall that's even more concerning. While garden variety crypto grift is bad, the dark money investment in a Trump-owned company by a firm that is linked to the government of the UAE suggests that foreign influence could be playing a large role in the growth of Trump's personal fortune. Of course, he's probably selling a lot of our information to a lot of these foreigners. I mean, also, you see, like with this whole situation with the merger that's going on with Paramount and now Warner Brothers, because they're trying to get that merger to go along, how they've been trying to fast track that and using foreign money to buy up these movie companies. Why are we taking money from like foreigners, outside interests, and using that money because the Ellis is supposed to be wealthy. So why are we looking at foreigners, people from Saudi Arabia, taking their money to have them have a stake in any of our whatever, meaning our media? We should not have outside influence coming in to indoctrinate what it is type of movies that we should see, because now their influence is going to be trickling down into what people watch. And everybody out here ain't as strong-minded where y'all can watch something and see through the propaganda and see through the bullshit. There are a lot of people that can be easily manipulated, easily indoctrinated. And when you start to get a lot of whoever on the outside that have certain interest in whatever it is that they're trying to spew, because you see it happening already with Paramount Plus and what they're doing with CBS and 60 Minutes, where you got that four-eyed cunt Barry Weiss over there being the lapdog for Israel and all the other bullshit that they're trying to trickle down on them and trying to shut people down in regards of, if you speak out against what's happening in Palestine or Iran or what's happening with a lot of these brown people, Muslims, whatever the case is, you see the repercussions of what happens with that. So they're trying to infiltrate a lot of our media. And then you get dumbasses over there at The View like Alyssa Farrah Griffin and Sarah Haynes, who are out here spewing disgusting Zionist propaganda because Sarah Haynes' husband is spewing his shit on Twitter. So it's literally like y'all got Nutmeg McCain 2.0 over there on The View pretending she a damn independent, but I believe she is just as dangerous as Nutmeg McCain was when it came to her husband indoctrinating her with a lot of the political things, that ideologies that he was saying on social media, and she would regurgitate that shit on air. So now you're starting to see it from Sarah, and I'm surprised that thing that she said about, oh my God, what was the girl's name that just let me look. I was like, then they talking about that Zora Mamdani says can't support Israel is as a Jew. We're not doing that, because we know a lot of the manipulative shit that they're saying in regards to that. I was trying to think of the word. Mamdani endorsed candidates, because I was like, who is I forgot the girl's name, that they were sitting over here saying a bunch of other stuff about, some negative stuff about her. But yeah, so to get all that, because there was this woman that they said that she showed up at a rally, and Sarah accused her of being anti-Semitic, which, based off of things that I had looked up about her, she wasn't being anti-Semitic. But she said that she's always been out here protesting against what's been happening to Palestinian people, especially, I believe she did visit Palestine, and she was of the people. And then when she got back, a lot of the people that were in Palestine their lives have been taken, and now she's over here spewing all kinds of, and I'm like, I'm surprised that they haven't come out and filed a lawsuit against her ass for slander. And so I think she would openly admit that she's anti-Semitic. It's like, did you actually, you don't even know, first of all, you didn't know how to say the girl name, and then number two, how you gonna make accusations about somebody you don't even know? So what are you talking about, Willis? So was I done with this story? So look, and then they also went in, just to wrap this up, because yeah, his family is the only ones that's out here getting rich off this stuff. They got the crypto grips and all this other stuff, and now you got Ivanka over here talking about that her and Jared went for a swim and a hike somewhere, and now they're trying to build their own private island, and I guess it's like in Armenia or something or other, and the Armenians saw the construction that was happening out there, and I saw a video of them. They literally was over there destroying all the construction and all the property and all that. So like, no, y'all not just going to come up in here being the colonizers that y'all are and just take over land and just turn it into your little private Epstein Island or whatever the case is. So the people are revolting. The people are fighting back. Y'all can't just sit up in here and just take, and then leave people with nothing and expect them to just be like, okay, so you were just going to just starve to death and whatever. And, the smart dictators, at least when they knew how to keep people in line, they wouldn't take too much away from them. They would give them just a little something just to keep them in line, just a little bit. Not this administration. You got a bunch of people that's trying to do the whole oligarch thing. They're trying to do the whole dictator thing, but they're so bad at it because they're so stupid. So the people are revolting. I'm glad that they're waking up. This is disgusting how this man is sitting here using our country and the presidency as a way to just commit his white collar crimes and make a shit ton of money while everybody out here trying to figure out how they're going to feed their families, how they're going to get gas in their car, how they're going to take care of their, how they're going to do what they got to do to survive, how they're going to pay their rent and all this other stuff. So they said that, and remember, he took that flight on a Qatari gifted jet where he said we couldn't build a plane like this because we wouldn't be willing to spend that kind of money necessary. So you're out here just taking gifts from people with of course, there's strings attached. So they said that the plane is valued at $400 million, and the government will not retain ownership of the plan after Trump leaves office. It will instead be gifted to his presidential library. That's somebody who don't deserve a damn library, but he's trying to build these Arc de Trumps and all this other craziness because he wants to leave a legacy behind that he feels that people just need to know about. Oh, you definitely gonna leave a legacy behind, and the history books hopefully will show what a horrible president you were and all the crazy shit that you did in your life. And I can't believe I'm living through this foolishness in real time, and it's going to be in the history books down the road. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding that he made all this money from Amazon's Melania documentary, which is crazy that it's like, of course he profited off of it, even though the documentary flopped because nobody really went to the movies to see it. They tried every trick in the book to get people to go see this film and trying to create little what is it, like renting out theaters and trying to get a bunch of people to show up and all this other stuff, and people still didn't care. It still flopped. It's on Prime Video. I don't even think it's in the top 10 of, because with Prime Video, if you watch it, they have their top 10 of like shows and movies and things. I have never seen Melania even pop up in the top 10 of most watched shows, most watched movie, most watched whatever. It's just up there. So they were willing to take the L just so that way Jeff Bezos can get his little tax breaks or whatever it was that he promised, Trump in exchange for, or whatever the deal was in exchange for him putting some unnecessary amount of coin behind his unnecessary ass documentary. So I want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your thoughts on this story in the comments down below. Drink or not to drink? The answer. Do you think Mitch is in a not Mitch? What is this? What are you, Dr. Seuss? Drink or not to drink? Do you think Mitch is in a ditch? And they're waiting there. I think he probably is there. But my thing is, why when it comes to the Republicans, y'all try so much to just try to pretend like, oh no, Trump's not sick, even though we literally see it look like he's dying in real time. He could barely walk from one end of the room to the next. And then you look at, but there's nothing to see here. There's nothing going on. There's nothing wrong with him. And then you look at Mitch McConnell, who they said was unconscious. I'm like, please. That man is like, it's like this whole Weekend at Bernie's thing that they keep trying to do. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's disgusting, especially when they got rid of pediatric cancer research. Mm-hmm. Well, what controversy sells, and people sit and watch it and it'll have its moment, and people are like, oh my god, this movie's awful. I'm like, what, y'all never seen an Uwe Boll movie? All of his movies are terrible. Long before he decided to do this whole little anti-immigration vigilante movie, all his movies were ass, unwatchable. But if y'all want to watch it, be my guest. Waste your money on some bullshit. But anyway, let's get back into the show. And let's talk about Cardi B. So it looks like Cardi B has made some strides yet again. She went in and let have on Miss Tasha K. Because Tasha K can't seem to keep her name out of Cardi's name out her damn mouth. And now at the end of the day, what happens is she has to continue to spend money out of her pocket, which she claiming that she bankrupt, but she ain't got no money. But you keep talking about Miss Mamas, and now look at you. Cardi keeps winning, and you just keep looking like Boo Boo the damn fool. So gossip blogger Trashy K has agreed to pay Cardi B 60 grand for violating an earlier settlement by engaging in online chatter about the hip-hop star's love life. So yes, in the agreement, she is not supposed to talk about not only Cardi, she can't talk about Stefon Diggs, she can't talk about Offset. Now, I don't know if Cardi get another relationship, if that's also in the contract that anybody that I'm out here hunching, you can't even bring, you can't talk about them. But yet she seems to. And my thing is this, there's so many other celebrities that you could be talking about, but in your agreement, you can't talk about Cardi. Everybody else is going to have to make their money from talking about Cardi. You, unfortunately, cannot. And if you keep bringing her up, she's going to keep taking your ass to court and taking you for whatever money you got. Now, the agreement filed Tuesday and obtained by Rolling Stone states that Cardi and Tasha K reached the resolution to avoid the expense, delay the uncertainty of further litigation over the total amount awarded. Their latest legal dispute stems from Cardi's $4 million defamation victory in 2022 against the blogger, whose real name is Latasha Kibi. Don't forget Transrena, that's her middle name. Now, Cardi agreed to delay efforts to collect a full judgment as long as Kibi refrained from denigrating Almanzar and her family. Now, despite the agreement to stop, Cardi, born Bel Khalees Almanzar, and her lawyers said that Kibi ignored the warning and made recent social media posts about Almanzar's estranged husband, Offset, and the father of her youngest child, NFL player Stefon Diggs. The rapper filed the motion in April asking a judge to impose economically painful sanctions to the host of Unwind with Tasha K. Almanzar's lawyers said they've been forced to constantly monitor Kibi's social media for alleged violations amid an ongoing cat and mouse game over the last year. They've documented more than 24 egregious violations of the non-disparagement clause, they claimed. Debtor still believes that she is above the law, consequences, and is invulnerable, the filing in April stated. And what makes the pattern of defiance particularly egregious is not merely the violations themselves, but what Debtor has openly admitted in public broadcasts. She has made clear that she intends to resume harassment of Ms. Almanzar once her debt is paid off. Well, girl, you claiming you ain't got no damn money, so how you ever gonna pay off that debt? That debt is beyond me. And then on top of that, remember when Cardi and them sent you a cease and desist, didn't she say she was gonna wipe her ass with the cease and desist? Well, it'll be interesting to see if you're gonna wipe your ass with that 60 grand that you're gonna have to pay her, because you want to run around here and go against the very code of what it takes with us who are in the media space, where it's like stories come out, give your opinion, and keep them moving. But you want to come out here and act like that you got firsthand count of Cardi's medical records, and you've seen that she out here giving people STIs or whatever it was that you was accusing her of, and it's like, oh, now you're trying to slander me because you got an issue with me for whatever reason that I don't know what personal beef that that Tasha K has with her. But for you to go out here and just because you want a moment and you want to stand out amongst all the other bloggers, so I'm just going to go out here and I'm going to spread rumors and this, that, and the other without any kind of evidence, and then saying all kinds of things about not only me, but certain family members of mine. But bitch, I'm taking you to court and you're going to have to pay up. So, and then once that whole situation happened, she just kept doing it because your ego wouldn't just let you take that L, pay your shit off, and keep it moving. But because you got to show off and show out in front of the winos, then you rather just be like, oh, well, I got to pay this $4 million plus I got to pay $60,000 because I can't keep Cardi name out my mouth. Like I said before, there are plenty of other celebrities that you could be out here talking about, but there's always these bloggers, whatever, that want to find a way to stand out from what everybody else is doing because they want to have a moment. They want to go viral. I don't give a shit about all that. If I happen to say something that goes viral, oh well, but I don't get caught up in the fleetingness that is social media and algorithms and all others, because I know at the end of the day, it's all bullshit. And if people are going to tune in, then you could tune in, but it's not that serious. Now, and I do believe that she thinks that, like what Cardi's attorney said, that she does believe that she's above the law, that she's not going to face consequences for her actions and is invulnerable. It's like, oh no, I'm going to show you. And Cardi got time. She got the coins, and she's going to make your life a living hell. So now they said Tuesday's agreements state that Kibi has promised to send Amazon $30K within 28 days of the court order and the rest on or before December 31st. Maybe that's that advance, because remember she did say that she got some type of deal going on where she's going to have her own talk show, whatever the case is. Maybe they paid her in advance that she could come up with that $30K that she's going to pay her, and then pay her the 10. Because what is it? What is? Oh no, it said it was 60,000. So the other 30. So she going to pay her half, and then pay the other half before December 31st. If Kibi fails to make the payments by those due dates, the rapper can then send a written notice of default, and the blogger would have 5 days to pay. If Kibi defaults, Amazon can seek the full award of $110,115. Now, I guess you want to keep giving money to Cardi and just leave that girl alone. Don't you like money? Don't you like keeping money in your pocket? I mean, who wants to sit up here and be just paying out for lawsuits? It's not that serious, and it's not worth it. And to me, that's why I was just like, I just keep my nose clean of all of this. I just go when we get the stories, I give my commentary, I try to be fair in what I say in regards to this stuff, and I keep it pushing. I'm not getting that invested in these people's lives. I don't care enough to. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding the latest on Cardi B versus Tasha K? So whatever your thought, because Tasha clearly got a hard damn head and a soft ass because she still ain't learning her lesson. But what are you proving? Who are you trying to prove this stuff to? Like, your fans regardless of whatever you try to perpetuate to your fans or the people that watch you, whatever, you still having to pay out this damn money. So is it worth it? Let me work it. Flip it and reverse it. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Or you said check your inbox and show the class. Keep it private, but this Madonna and TikTok is a one and done deal. You'll understand it after you see what I mean. Hopefully this is just Daddy Ellison doing her enemy a favor. I was gonna say, why would she even agree to do this whole situation? That's what I'll be curious to find out. I was like, what is the reason? Not TikTok is evil. Madonna and TikTok and a one and done deal. First of all, I don't know if I like this look. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know if I like this look with her. What is that? I know the overall category is pink pussy. I know the pink and everything is supposed to be cute or whatever, but I don't know if I like the look. Oh no, I don't like that look either. But yeah, okay. Well, I'm curious if somebody wants to upload the interview later on. Maybe she knows that's like the way that she's gonna get. She's got to go for the TikTok crowd because even though the album is, Warner Brothers is doing what they need to do in regards to the promotion. Maybe the reason why she's doing what she's doing is because it's like, okay, so I'm still gonna try to do the whole algorithm hustling and all that other stuff. The pale pink washes her out. Yeah, I think she needs I didn't like the pale pink. I think if she wears like a darker pink, especially going up against, or like a fuchsia or whatever, that definitely works for her. I don't know if like the bright pink works. I do like that she's doing the whole soft pink girly look, but yeah, darker pink, especially on her white skin, she's definitely got to do the darker colors. That works better. And then I don't know if y'all saw the pictures of the giant legs with the speaker in between her legs. That I've been noticing in London, they have that thing out there. I'm like, is this for a stage show or whatever? Because I'm like, they definitely need to use that on the, like, when she tours, have that. And I've been saying that from the beginning. That needs to be the overall look. So when you come in, you see the giant legs and the speaker, and then she comes out of the speaker. I think that would be awesome. That'd be the grand entrance. Similar to, like, remember when Kylie Minogue came out on her tour? Which tour was it that she had speakerphone on? and she had, what was she on, like and then it was it looked like a dream catcher type of situation. So if they could do something like that where she just emerges from the speaker, that would be awesome. In between her legs, like she's giving birth to herself. Yeah, that's why I said, like, she looked older in the whole situation, and they're gonna probably make those comments about her. And we love Madonna, but it just seems like to me she don't even like embracing the fact that she's getting older. Well, honey, it's inevitable. You can't hide the fact that you're getting older. Trust and believe. Look, I am 20 plus years younger than her, so we get up there in age, so we just gotta embrace it. Just realized I missed a TikTok live stream because I was watching your show. Oh my! Well, I'm glad y'all actually was up in here watching the show, and y'all missed the interview. But I'm sure it'll leak somewhere, and then somebody recorded it and will put it up. All right, y'all. Let's get back into some more hot topics. And let's talk about Your Majesty Daddy. And Jafar Daddy. Let's talk about Jermaine Jackson. So he seems to have scored a major win because a couple of weeks ago, I feel like we talked about this. He was accused of SAing someone, I believe, in the 80s, and now it's come to, it became a big deal or whatever the case was. And now it looks like he scored a victory because the judge pretty much just the default judgment. They basically said that the judge basically voided the $6.5 million default judgment. So they said that the ruling came due to an issue with how the lawsuit was served. The case remains active and will now proceed in court. So Judge Elaine W. Mandel voided the default judgment that ordered Jackson to pay $6.5 million to a woman who accused him of SA and rape in a alleged 1988 incident. Wasn't that around the time? Isn't that the year that the Michael movie ends in 88? The ruling obtained by people was filed in the Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles, on Tuesday, June 30th. A default judgment occurs in favor of the plaintiff when a defendant misses a filing deadline, fails to show up in court, or ignores a lawsuit. In April, Barrett's legal counsel submitted a memorandum to the court claiming that Jackson was properly served but failed to respond. However, Jackson argued that he was erroneously sued in court documents filed on Wednesday, June 3rd. The musician, who was denied SAing accuser Rita Butler Barrett, claimed that he was incorrectly sued as Jermaine Jackson because he legally changed his name to Jermaine Lawan Jackson in the state of California in 2013. Now, he says Jermaine and it's LA capital JUANE. So I was like, Countess Luann, is that what we're gonna call you? And then Jackson is JACKSUN. Did you do that after it was brazenly mentioned in the movie that the father ain't want nothing to do with Jermaine Jackson when they was doing the victory tour? Because he was like, oh, he made his decision when he went over there and stayed with Motown. Blah, 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 blah. So was that when you didn't change them? So you still a Jackson, but you decided to change the spelling of your last name. Make it make sense. And this is the same one that was out here sharing wives with his damn brother. After the brother done left the wife, he goes and marries and gets pregnant with a bunch of kids. I'm like, y'all are some fucking weirdos. This whole Jackson family is all kinds of fucked up. But anyway, so Jackson also claimed that he was living in Bahrain when attempts was made to reach him and at his mother's Encino, California address. Because he was overseas, he also alleged that he had not seen the summons that was published in the LA Times, saying, quote, the failure to use Jackson's true legal name is fatal, child. Compounded by plaintiff's decision to publish in Los Angeles, while Jackson was apparently living overseas, wrote Mandel in Tuesday's decision. So just refile the shit and put JACKSUN on the shit. If you want to, well, I'm not Jermaine Jackson, not the name that Joe and Catherine gave me. I'm a different Jackson. So I'm Jackson if you're nasty. Or if you're allegedly a rapist. Now, They said Barrett alleged in a complaint filed in December of 2023 that Jackson SA'd her after allegedly showing up uninvited to her home in or around the spring of '88. She claimed that he SA'd her with force and violence. I mean, is there any other way to SA somebody? And left when he was satiated, alleging causing her to fear for her life. Barrett claimed that the next day she reported the alleged SA to Motown Records founder Berry Gordy, but Gordy and others in the business allegedly covered it up to protect Jackson's career. I was like, he actually had a career, but Jackson had a moment in the spotlight. Now, Barrett said that she has suffered severe emotional, physical, and psychological injury, including humiliation, shame, guilt, economic loss, economic capacity, and permanent emotional distress following the alleged assault, according to the complaint. Quote, Jermaine is adamant that he did not grape the plaintiff. Brett Lewis, Jackson's attorney, said in a statement obtained by People. I would add that the alleged conduct is not characteristic to the Jermaine Jackson, the Jackson, JACKSON/SUN, that I have known for years in his longtime attorney. Continues the statement. We intend to vigorously defend these allegations. So, this is where we are right now. They said that, look, you could still refile it, whatever the case was. And they also mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, the case remains active and will now proceed in court. So the issue basically was how the lawsuit was served, meaning that he had changed his name. They put his old name on it, not the new name. So I guess if you're talking about it will proceed in court, maybe you could just refile it with the correct name or whatever the case was. But they could have told her that from the damn beginning instead of trying to find these little loopholes and play this little game. But that's where we are right now. Child, you need to be more concerned with whatever this system you got up on the top of your head than worrying about fucking name changes. But I digress. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are on this whole Jermaine Jackson SA situation, let me know in the comments down below. All right, y'all. So now let's get into this story. Let's talk about Weezy. So Weezy, not Jefferson, Lil Weezy, apparently had a show that he was supposed to perform in Alaska. People were pissed off because they said they drove hours to come see his ass, and he ain't even show up. I'm actually surprised y'all got that, because I will say, of all the shows that I have worked at Madison Square Garden, doing a Lil Wayne show was the worst. The fans weren't that bad. It was the fact that he made them wait an hour after he was supposed to go on to give a show, and only gave them 40 minutes. So he didn't go on to like damn near 10 o'clock. He was supposed to go on around 8:30, I believe. Didn't go on till about 10 o'clock. Damn near 10 o'clock. And then the show was supposed to be over at 11. So we gave them sort of like, I believe, 50 minutes of a show. And after every song, thank you. Thank you. That's all he kept saying. Bitch, what you thanking people for? Thanking them for sitting there getting fucked up for over an extra hour because you decided to show up when you wanted to show up. And I had heard rumors that he wasn't even in the building. So I had people coming up to me and being like, so when does the show supposed to start? When's it coming on? I'd be like, the show was supposed to have started already. So I don't know what to tell you. We at the mercy of the people. Another one, I'm probably going to be wondering if he's going to show up next week is Lionel Richie, because Lionel Richie got a show that he's doing with Earth, Wind, and Fire. And the last time he was at the Garden doing a show with them, Earth, Wind, and Fire performed and showed up. Lionel never hit the stage, so they got half a show. So with this being the reputation that Lil Wayne has, I would never put money behind this man. But people did, and now they pissed. And then he went and said he's sorry and hold on to your tickets because it's going to be rescheduled. So he's asking for forgiveness. Me personally, I'll be like, fuck, thank you and fuck you. Fuck you, because you ain't getting no forgiveness from me. This is bullshit. So he was supposed to kick off his 20 plus years of Carter Classics North American tour on Tuesday, which was June 30th, and said, my main fans, I'm so sorry. This is what he wrote in his Instagram story on Wednesday, July 1st, after he did not make it to the stage for the headlining slot at the Main Savings Amphitheater in Bangor. Isn't that where Stephen King lived, in Bangor, Maine? So he actually apologized to the fans after he was a no-show. And he says, my main fans, I'm so sorry. The show is being rescheduled to July 28th. Please hold on to your tickets. They will be honored for the rescheduled date. This is what he wrote on his Instagram stories post the day after. I ain't shit without you. I can't wait to come back and give you the show you deserve. The rapper said that additional information will be emailed to ticket holders. Well, he didn't even explain as to why he didn't show up in the first place. And I'm glad you know that you ain't shit without your fans, but why do you continuously treat your fans like this when it comes to your live performances? Now, on Tuesday, after 2 Chainz wrapped his opening set at the Main Savings Amphitheater, the crowd reportedly waited for quite some time before being informed at 11 p.m. that Wayne would not be appearing and that the show was over. No official explanation was provided. One person said, well, I came here for Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz, and it was the most terrible experience. We drove over 6 hours to be here, Rita Sack, an attendee who drove more than 6 hours from Nova Scotia for the concert, told local station WABI. Sack told the outlet that an apology for the rapper at the time would have been appreciated, saying, we paid for Lil Wayne. Like, the least you could do is come out for a minute, apologize, like, just take a moment and be like, hey, guys, sorry, not feeling it. Feeling a little sick, said Sack. And the worst part is, it always falls on those of us who work in guest services, where it's like, we got to be the bearer of bad news of situations like this. And it's like, because the artists want to do whatever it is that they do and don't want to show up or whatever the circumstances is. Maybe he drank too much fucking lean and forgot to wake up. Who knows? But this is Wayne's MO. Because like I told y'all, when I worked his show at the Garden, was maybe like a year or two ago. I don't remember when. I've worked so many shows, it becomes a blur at a point. He, it was supposed to come out. There was a DJ that was supposed to do an opening set, I believe, from like 8 to 8:45. And then Wayne was supposed to come out, I believe, maybe a little after 9 o'clock or something. Didn't show up till damn near 10 o'clock. So the fandom was like, waiting, and they asked, so what's going on? What time is the show supposed to start? Well, and it's like, people can't just keep going back and forth and trying to keep themselves busy by drinking a liquor, going to buying the liquor and getting drunk, and by the time you show up there shit faced with nothing to show for it. And don't get me wrong, when Wayne hit the stage, he put on a good show. But the fact of the matter is, y'all, and just in general, as artists, y'all cannot be taking these people who are spending their hard-earned money. You can't be taking advantage of these people like this. Like, at least, if you're not feeling it and you don't want to tour or perform, whatever, then don't sit and put a show together if it's not something that physically you're capable of doing. It's like when I'm sitting with a lot of these older artists that are trying to put on show, like Lionel Richie, these other older artists. If it ain't in you physically that you can be able to deal with the grueling thing, that whatever it takes to tour, and the grueling schedule or the travel and all other stuff, then don't freaking do it. There's so many other ways you can make money. Quiet as it's kept, Lionel Richie is over there doing American Idol. I don't know many people that still watch it, but apparently it's still on. I'm sure he's making a pretty penny doing it. And the touring is probably just a vanity thing. But if your heart and your mind, and you're physically not able to keep up and do the thing, then just live off of your money, do some endorsement deals or whatever the case is, so that way you got some kind of money coming, get in the stocks or bonds, do something. But like I said, if it ain't in you to perform, then stop performing. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story surrounding Lil Wayne not showing up to one of his shows? Surprise, surprise. Let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below. Yeah, I did see that about Shania Twain or whatever, but it's just like, look, I don't know if like people are just slow, or maybe they just like getting online to complain. The clothes that you see Shania and Madonna and everybody wearing, they wear this on stage. It is hot under those lights. So people who sit up behind their phones and their computers and act like they understand how live entertainment works, y'all don't work in this world like I work in this world. I work in live entertainment, so I understand a lot of the nuts and the bolts, the bells and the whistles that goes in a lot of this stuff. And if I'm not standing still doing a show, like I'm screaming for Hudson, and it's freezing in there, which it was for her name Josh Groban show that they did. If I'm gonna be under lights doing a lot of physical movement and dancing or whatever the case is, then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna dress as scantily clad as I want. But why are you mad? It's like the people getting all upset with Jennifer Lopez because of what she wearing. She like, bitch, I work hard for this body. You think I'm gonna get up here in a goddamn burqa and sing on the floor? Hell no. I'm gonna literally wear something where it's a piece. I got a little fabric covering my coochie, up my ass crack, and I'm gonna give you a full-on show because I'm dancing. I need everything to just be right and tight because I'm moving around on stage. And if you got it in you to be that physical and looking good or whatever at your age, then rock it. If my body was looking as fierce as for Lopez, trust me, my ass would be up there half naked. Who was that singer? I can't remember his name. He sang that song, Baby, I'm a believer, believer. But I don't know if it's Imagine Dragons, but it was this guy. Literally seen him on stage recently in his tidy whities. It was some boxer briefs. He was on stage half naked. He actually pulled down his underwear and showed his ass. That was another thing. I gagged over that. But he was up there singing his song. He's cute too. I was like, oh, who's that? And was up there performing on stage because it was so damn hot. He was in his underwear performing on stage, had his shorts on top of the thing, stood up there performing in his drawers and did a show. So look, if you got the body, show it off. I was just like, look, if he's straight, I'm glad that at least he had no skid marks in them drawers, because that'd be embarrassing. You up there performing, you see the little brown stain or a sweat stain in your crack, that would not be cute. Yes, I know Nova Scotia is in Canada. However, the performance was in Alaska. No, not Alaska. It was in Bangor, Maine. That's where it was. I almost said this in yesterday's show, but thought you wouldn't care. Did you see that his fiance is younger than his own daughter with the BBL that would make Cardi? Who are you talking about? Lil Wayne? I know I heard something about Genuine, 55 years old, dating some realtor who's in her 20s, and he got kids around that age. And you met, like, I just don't understand this thing where just anybody, grown men who are in their 40s, 50s, or whatever, dating somebody that's old enough to be their kid. Like, what are y'all getting at? Like, there's nothing we have in common that I'm like, I want to do a relationship with you. Like, if I'm 50 something years old and a 25-year-old come my way, yeah, we fucking, but I ain't trying to do no relationship with you. I just want to hit it and quit it. Now, relationship, I need somebody that's going to be close enough in age with me, so that way we could be on like a level, like a deeper level of like relationship type of stuff. Because it's like, if I want to talk about pop culture things and all this other stuff, 9 times out of 10, you ain't going to know what the hell I'm talking about. I think I had forgotten whatever about Lil Wayne and him being in a relationship with a younger girl, but I'm not surprised by anything these weird ass men be doing. All right, y'all. So now, oh damn, I thought we had 4 more topics left, but no, yanny. We got 3 more topics left. So before we get to our final topics, if you guys could please do me a solid, hit that like button, smash the notification bell, like, subscribe, hype, do all the things to help push Chris Avalon Unfiltered out there further in the stratosphere of the algorithm and all that good stuff. Please and thank you. Thank you, Henny. Or as I like to say, Henny. The unauthorized musical. So now, without further ado, let's talk about Clifford and his wife, who was trying to get a little payday situation out of this whole OMG trial, or whatever the case was, because, you know, they've been in this legal fight with toy company MGA Entertainment, and they didn't get an additional payout they were seeking. They're still walking away with the $18 million judgment. So they will be getting a payout of that, but and I guess what it was, they were trying to get a little more coin tada out of the situation, and the judge is like, no, just take what you're getting. Let's not be greedy. So, before the trial in the years-long legal fight between T.I., Tamika Tiny Harris, and the toy giant MGA Entertainment did not go the celebrity couple's way. T.I. and Harris had sought to restore some of the 53.6 million in punitive damages that a judge in California had previously thrown out. But on Wednesday, the jury in the latest trial found that MGA had not acted with malice. Hearing no punitive damages will be awarded. As a result, the couple's total recovery remains capped with the 17.9 million in compensatory damages awarded by a different jury nearly 2 years ago. Saying, quote, "We appreciate the jury's time and consideration, but are disappointed in the verdict." This is what T.I. and Tiny's lawyers, led by John Cavill, Shantae Westmoreland, and Robert Green, said in a statement. "We proved malice once and believe that had this jury had the benefit of the 3 weeks of evidence the last jury saw, they too would have found punitive appropriate. It's clear from the evidence that MGA's policies are inadequate to prevent this type of IP infringement, and their document of retention and collection procedures are equally as suspect. We will continue to fight in our clients' rights and the rights of the creatives." Now, lawyers for MGA Entertainment did not immediately respond to a request for comment when U.S. District Judge James V. Selna threw out the 53.6 million portion of the 2024 verdict last year. He called it unsupported by the evidence. Wednesday's verdict capped a legal saga that T.I. and Tiny, who created their own OMG Girlz, have been fighting since 2020. At the third trial in September 2024, a jury found that MGA had misappropriated groups' name, likeness, and identity by using them as the basis for 7 dolls in its top-selling LOL Surprise OMG line. The prior jury that awarded the combined 71.5 million verdict concluded that MGA acted with malice, and it knowingly copied the OMG Girl's name, neon hair, and distinctive outfits. The real-life group features Tiny's daughter, Zonique Starr Pollins, along with Baja Beauty Rodriguez and Brianna Baby Doll Womack. The first trial in the case started in January 2023 and ended in a mistrial when jurors heard barred testimony accusing the toy company of cultural appropriation. The second trial, a few months later, cleared MGA of wrongdoing, but the verdict was overturned on appeal due to a Supreme Court ruling giving more weight to evidence about consumer confusion. At the third trial, T.I. and Tiny convinced jurors the MGA marketed 7 specific dolls that clearly copied the way the OMG Girlz appeared at very specific public events or in publicized photos. MGA denied the allegations. The series billionaire founder Isaac Larian, testified that T.I., Tiny, and the 3 OMG Girlz played no role in the design of his dolls. He called them extortionists. After the 71.5 million verdict, T.I. and Tiny said they felt vindicated. Saying, "I think justice was served. I think it's a testament to the relentlessness and resilience of my wife, daughter," and you already know T.I. love using a big damn word. He said, "relentlessness and resilience of my wife, daughter, and nieces," T.I. told Rolling Stone in 2024. "We're just happy we were able to come out on top and fight for creatives and our intellectual property that large corporations seem to think is just public domain and free for all to come and grab and use." Now, Tiny said the 71 million award was more than she expected. "At the end of the day, the evidence showed MJ stole from us. They stole from our creation," Tiny told Rolling Stone. "I'm glad we stuck with it. No one could tell me they did not steal from us." And clearly they had the evidence to prove that they were being stolen from. So while the creator is calling them, WGA is calling them extortionists, they say, "Oh no, bitch, we got the evidence." Now it's funny how they going hard for a group I ain't never heard of them. But if I'm not mistaken, OMG Girlz performed on the SWV Escape Tour, but it wasn't all the girls was in there. I think it was like 2 of them, or it might have been all 3. I can't remember because it was so long ago. But I didn't know the OMG Girlz was out here still performing, making music, whatever the case was. But I do remember seeing them on that SWV Escape Tour, the Ladies of R&B tour, which was actually pretty good. So I guess shout out to you, T.I. and Tiny. Y'all got a little win over there, but yeah, I'm like, y'all going hard for a group. No, many people couldn't even name one song they sang. But anyway, so I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story surrounding this latest thing regarding the OMG girls and this crazy trial regarding copyright infringement and things of that nature? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Hold on, let me open this other thing back up. Plus, and I is doing one with Sadie, which in July, and I have heard Europe heat wave. Yeah, that's right. Look, it's hot out there, it's hot out here, and ain't no way in hell I'm not dressing what you deem as fucking appropriate. If I want to be out here and dress half naked, I'm gonna fucking do it. Especially if I work my ass off to look good. I see Chris doing the relationship thing when he's 70. No, it's funny because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I know it might be harsh to say, but somebody was like, "You probably gonna be alone for the rest of your life," and I said, "Well, there's a difference between alone and lonely. Like, I choose to not be in a relationship. I choose to have my independence and stuff. And I think living in a metropolis like New York, I think maybe I'm looking at it from that standpoint that it's just so many men, so little time. How do I choose?" So there's just so many men's is out here. So it's like, what the fuck I need to be in a relationship for? I get a lot of the emotional stuff from my friends. When it comes to guys, it's like, there's a lot of booty out here that I got to be hunching. So, but if I will say this, I'm not going to close myself off from it. If it happens, it happens. But for the most part, I'm enjoying my independence. I'm a sucker for polar opposites. I would prefer someone that doesn't give a crap about pop culture or anything I'm interested in, and we grow from there. Sports fans, party animals, even a maggot. Well, no, I don't want no goddamn maggot. I might do an angry fuck on them because, you know, a lot of them is frustrated, but and don't know how to get that energy out any other way. But if it comes to polar opposites, whatever the case is, I think like, I wouldn't want, if I was to get in a relationship, I wouldn't want somebody to have the same interest that I do, meaning entertainment, pop culture, that sort of thing. I want us to be able to do something outside of that, or someone who's not interested in being famous or having a moment, whatever the case is. Because I'm like, once I'm done with all this other stuff, I just want us to be able to go out and have a good time, or whatever the case is. If I happen to run into people who recognize me and want an autograph, whatever the case is, yeah, that's cute. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Let's take a picture. Let's do the autograph, whatever. But outside of that, it's like, once I'm done with the gig, it's a job. Like, it's something that pays the bills. It's something that I'm doing because it's part of the whole shtick. But outside of that, I don't want it to just be a 24/7 thing, because there's people who get these mass egos or whatever. They get all wrapped up in that. Me, it's just like, okay, I'm doing the celebrity news. Once I'm done, I close the laptop and I keep it moving. Taylor Swift and Travis donated. Yeah, I heard that they did. However, I am kind of pissed at them because I feel for the businesses that's around that area. Particularly, there's this bar that's literally across the street from MSG. They have an outdoor rooftop patio where they do, like, it's a sports bar, and that's where a lot of, like, when they were doing the Knicks games or whatever, the Knicks finals, playoffs, all that other stuff, they were doing a lot of the games there. Also, we have the World Cup going on, so people want to go into a lot of these bars in the area and watch the World Cup instead of having to be at home, whatever the case is. And it's nice out. It's pretty hot and uncomfortable, but a lot of people want to be out at the bars, whatever. It's 4th of July weekend. This is a great time for companies to be making money. And Taylor Swift, I don't care how much money you and your husband decide to donate to food banks and all this other stuff, but I feel for a lot of the bars and stuff in the area. This is the same issue that they had when a certain fat orange funky fuck came to MSG to watch, was it Game 3? And the businesses were suffering them because they had to shut down, you know, a lot of 8th Avenue and a lot of the blocks, and it was putting a lot of people in the turnaround and stuff. So a couple of the blocks that they have shut off, it's going to hurt a lot of those businesses. And right now, this is like a great time for businesses to be making money. When we had Pride Month, we got we had the Knicks playoffs, the Knicks finals, so businesses were making money that way. Also, we have the World Cup, like I was saying before. So there's a lot of things that's going on, and y'all just fucking up the thing because you want to have your little wedding at the Garden. And don't get me wrong, this is good grist for my meal and all the other stuff, but I just think about all the businesses in the area that's going to suffer from all of this. My situationship with the maggot ended up leaving me drug addicted, manic, and depressed because I wanted to live my quiet kid gets the popular kid fantasy. He was DL out, child, a mess. It should be no surprise that so many men, so little time plays in my head. Or oh, okay. You and I, Lanier, are on the same page with that. But at least I have someone to think about when I listen to Olivia and Taylor breakup songs. Great writing inspiration. Look, the good thing about when you get in these crazy situationships or relationships or whatever, is good grist for the mill if you are someone who's an artist or a writer. And you can use that as fuel for your music. Food for the soul. Which I'm looking forward to hearing that song. You said Madonna might top the US Billboard 200. I heard that she might go number 3 in the UK. I gotta also make sure when I log off that all the stuff is going to be working when I do this reaction video for the album and everything. I'm like, damn, should I like wait until I'm probably, you know what? I'll probably do it tonight. I was thinking I was going to do it in the morning. It all depends on like how my mood is. I'm like, damn, should I just like do an immediate, like wait till the album drops and do it, or just wake up in the morning and do it? And I have to do that. And then I put some Madonna articles to the side that it's gonna be a Madonna episode tomorrow. I might do it early too, so it's gonna be a Madonna specific episode, and we can talk about like our favorite songs. I'll give my overall review, and there's some Madonna articles that I put to the side that we'll incorporate in the conversation and stuff as well. So Taylor should have waited until the World Cup. Apparently, the numbers added to number 13. Yeah, well, whatever her stuff is, it's like, okay, everybody was talking about that. But yeah, with the World Cup happening for the next couple of weeks, I just feel for the businesses. But to be honest, if she wanted to do Madison Square Garden, she had to do this weekend. This is the only week actually that there's nothing going on. So she had to put in this week. After starting next week, like literally, I think Monday or Tuesday, we're booked. We got Rush, we got Fish, Bon Jovi. Damn, I wish I would have had my schedule here. We got Louis Tomlinson is doing a show. Madison Beer has a show. There's a lot of people that's gonna be performing this month. So we busy over there at the Garden. So she had to do it this week, unfortunately. So it is what it is. But yeah, like I said, I feel for the other businesses. All right, so okay, chill. Let's get into some. Wait, hold on. That drink 8 Red Bulls. Yeah, we got like 20, probably like 23 events happening next month. And we also got WWE. We have Lionel Richie and what's his name? Who did I say? Earth, Wind, and Fire, Lionel Richie. Like, yeah, there's a lot of shows happening next month. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy busy. And I think there's stuff going on in the theater as well. Let's get into some family dynamics. And let's talk about Collin Jocelyn. So you should have known eventually this is going to happen, because I always thought Kate Gosselin, I always thought that lady was the devil. She always gave me Karen tease, especially with that fucking haircut she always used to walk around with. Definition of a Karen. And the way she always treated their father, John, back in the day, I knew that lady was the incarnate of Satan, or just giving Karen vibes. And now, you know what? The best revenge comes through your kids. And I always say, be careful how you treat people, because you know what? How you treat people is going to come through your children. And one of them children is coming at her ass. And it happens to be none other than Collin Gosselin. Because, you know, she had, what is it, octuplets, I guess is what we call them. So, yeah, one of the children don't even like her, and got a whole memoir coming out where he's spilling what it was like being a child of Kate Gosselin. And we're going to get into also what she ended up saying about her own child. So Collin Gosselin has theories about why his estranged mother, Kate Gosselin, sent him away when he was 11. Because he has a book coming out called In the Shadow of 8, Surviving the Reality of My Childhood. Okay, first of all, that title is everything. Now, after John and Kate plus 8 reality stars Kate and John Gosselin's 2009 divorce, Kate was awarded custody of her 8 children. twins Cara and Madeline, and she had twins, and then she had sextuplets. So there's Collin, Alexis, Aiden, Leah, Joel, and Hannah. Child, I wonder if her vagina whistles when it walks, because all them damn kids that came out of her, she definitely got to be, they got to be a full-on that comes out of that pussy when when a breeze hit it. Then she sent Collin to a behavioral institution for what she claimed to be unpredictable and violent behavior when he was 11. Now, in September of 2025, Interview with the Sun, now published in full on June 27th, Collin, who's 22, said he believes his mom sent him away because he questioned why K+8 continued after his parents' divorce, and he no longer wanted to be on camera. He said, "I was stubborn enough to question my mom," Collin said. "I questioned her about everything, and that came before the rebellion of me not wanting to be on camera and to be part of her circus. That questioning led me later not wanting to be on camera, and that really killed her. Because she understood that what this grift was. She was famous. She got famous, and this seemed to be this obsession that we had over women pushing out multiple babies. I mean, we had her, we had Nadia Suleiman, the Octomom, and all these other things that was going on at that time. We was fascinated with all this craziness in reality television, and Kate was getting famous off of that. And now you have your kids don't want to comply. I mean, everybody wants to talk about consent and all this other stuff now, but it's like, back then you didn't have a right to consent. Now it's like, oh, this is your part of the life, so I got to incorporate you in the life, so therefore you got to be on camera. And then you have a kid like him who I can relate to, because I've always been the type that people have said, oh, you're going to be a problem, because I've always been the type that questions things. If something don't feel right, if it's something going on that I'm not comfortable with, I used to question all the time. And people, either applaud you for it, which my mother, luckily enough for my parents, my mother always told me that, yeah, you should question things. If you got anything that you want to know, whatever the case is, yeah, ask, and I'll tell you. So I was always questioning things. Like, I was asking about sex and all kinds of other stuff when I was a kid, when I shouldn't have been, but it was things I was genuinely inquisitive about. And I think it's because when you're the type of kid who's wise beyond your years, you're going to question things. And now you're thinking, oh, he's a problem, he's a nuisance. So now I got to push him into some behavioral thing because he's asking questions. And now I need to find a reason why, oh, he's got these issues. So let me just dump him off to this behavioral institution. So he says, I don't know what reason it was, whether it was her reputation she was saving by sending me away from home, probably, or whether it was the fact that maybe it's easier to sign a work permit for 7 children that are voluntary instead of 7 children that are voluntary and 1 that's involuntary. So there are a lot of things to question here. In the 22 months that Collin was away, he and Kate visited. He said Kate visited one time and probably about 20 minutes. And the whole time I was blamed. She said it was about a year of me being there, and the whole time I had these glasses on and tears coming down my face. I was overweight. I was sick. They had me on all these medications. And she's sitting there looking at her kid, who was clearly not who he used to be, and sick and just out of it. And she just telling me that I broke her family, that my siblings want nothing to do with me, all that stuff. And now a lawyer for Kate declined a comment when reached by people on July 1st. But I do have, apparently she did say something later on. We'll get to that in a second. But now, in a 2024 interview with Entertainment Tonight, Collin recalled feeling scared when he was sent away from his home. Said, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know where I was going, he said at the time. That was the most scared I've ever been in my life. I didn't even say goodbye to my siblings. Our family was under a spotlight 24/7. I know strongly that the reason I was sent away was for my mother to protect her reputation. Now, Kate said in 2016 that Collin had special, child, she done said her son got special needs. But look, he did a whole interview. And to be honest, I don't get special needs from him. I think she's full of shit. So, for you to go and say something like that, to me, that's just disgusting. Now, in his response, he told Entertainment Tonight in 2020, he said, it's unfortunate that's how my mom, phrased me as a person. I don't see those things, and I don't think anybody else sees those things. But if that's how she sees me, then, that's her point of view. Well, you a better person I ever be, because I'd be like, well, fuck you, bitch. How dare you say I got some goddamn special needs? If anybody has special needs, is your psychotic ass. So she did respond, and in a new social media post, the former reality TV star and son of John, Gosselin, who starred in the TLC series John and Capers 8 alongside his parents and sextuplets siblings, have been open in recent years about his estranged relationship with his mother. And she shared a screenshot actually of, because I was like, wait a minute, let me not get caught up with the whole situation. It said, now the since expired post, which included a photo of Kate Gosselin with her face blurred out, also contained a quote from the commenter, was them the darkness will always come to light. Following her son's post, Kate Gosselin responded to the online commentary surrounding Gosselin's abuse allegations in a series of social media comments. Kate Gosselin addressed the news of Gosselin's memoir in a TikTok post on Monday, June 29th. Although Kate's video, a recap of recent events from her personal life, did not discuss her son's comments, several users brought up the controversy in the comment section, saying, if you are 100% certain excuse me, that the accusations against you are lies, my suggestion will be to take him to court excuse me, and sue him for defamation. One user wrote, to which Kate replied, I can't because she can't sue her own child for defamation because she's a public girl. First of all, this new generation, people don't even know the fuck you are. Now, if you want to sit and look back on us that know Kate Gosselin, I'm a public figure. Girl, when the last time somebody paid attention to your ass in public? So you can't go and count and take your child to court for defamation because you're a public figure. This sounds like some shit like Chris Brown with my dog ripped your face off, so I can't call the police because I'm a public figure. Like, get out of here with this shit. She said, I consulted a high-powered LA attorney. You've definitely heard of him. Years ago when other people were putting crazy stuff out there, and that's what he said. The courts don't honor it if you are in the public eye. The John Capers 8 alum also responded to a commenter who appeared to suggest she was deleting critical comments about Gosselin's allegations. Yep, I sure am. This page is about my real life, and it's all about kindness, love, honesty, and definitely not for made-up accusation discussion. Well, if you're a public figure and you're out here trying to put up some fake little thing about your life, and the people are like, well, your son's out here defaming you, what do you have to say about it? You going to go around and think about deleting things and that's going to solve the problem? It makes you look even more guilty. So they said Gosselin responded to his mother's social media comments on his IG stories Tuesday, June 30th. The former reality TV star shared a reaction video reviewing Kate's remarks, which also included a screenshot of a user's comment that read, People have obviously not read her diary that was leaked, where she admits to feeling anger toward Collin. Quote, never forget the fact that my mom would write in her diary how she had to pray to God to stop hitting me. This was while I was 2 years old, by the way, and this is why using my voice to put these things to light is so important. So they said in a 2024 interview with the U.S. Sun, Gosselin got candid on his rough childhood with his mom, Kate, who he said became physically aggressive and verbally abusive towards him. He alleged that Kate would sometimes zip tie him and lock him inside a basement room for days at a time. Gosselin's father, John, who divorced Kate Gosselin in 2009, backed up his claims at the time and told the Sun that when his friends' in-laws bought the house, they asked, why is there a room in the basement with a bed and a lock on the outside? During an appearance on the Dr. Oz show in 2019, John Gosselin alleged that his ex-wife institutionalized their son without a mental health diagnosis and later created a diagnosis. Kate Gosselin addressed her fraught relationship with Gosselin in a statement, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So this lady was out here literally torturing her son, create a hostile environment for her kids. She probably was dealing with her own postpartum depression, mental health shit, and wasn't getting it and wasn't dealing with it. When you look at this lady's face, do she look innocent to you? She definitely looked like she'd be the one that would have seduced Emmett Till, and then when the white man came along, would have lied and then got him killed. That she definitely gives that with that hair and his overall look. So I don't trust this Karen as far as I can throw her. But this kid has a right to tell his story. Now, in the interview that he did, which is on YouTube, it's called, if you want to watch it, it's under Strange McKnights. So STRANGEMCKNIGHTS. You can look that up online. And in the comments, one person said, Collin questioned everything. That is exactly why he became the scapegoat. Another person said, best part of being the scapegoat is that you have nothing to lose by speaking the truth. And another person said she was abusive to John on camera. We can only imagine what she was with everyone when, how she was with everyone when the cameras are off. Another person said anyone that had a parent like this knows Collin's telling the truth. Another person who was a child therapist, she said, I stand behind you, Collin. I remember watching the show in my early 20s as a new mom and was horrified. So here's the thing. We remember how you was on TV, Miss Gosselin. We don't got selective memory like this bitch does. So for her to come out and make her son a liar when he's going to be like, you know what, fuck all this shit. I got to tell my side of the story. I actually now have a voice now that I'm an adult, and I'm going to say how evil this woman was. And he wrote a book and is giving his experience. And there's no reason, she doesn't have the reason or the power or the wherewithal to diminish his truth. If you were just a horrible ass woman, and that's why I always worry, like if I ever had children, I would never want to treat them that way, because it's like, I don't want to get the karma back to my kids or whatever the case is. That's why you got to treat people with kindness and not just be out here being some evil old Cruella DeVille type, which is definitely what she gives. So I'll definitely be keeping this abreast of this story as it develops, but I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story regarding Kate Gosselin being basically mommy dearest? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. She said, if I could sue my son, I would, but laws prevent me from making him homeless. We've seen parents do worse to their own damn kids, so I don't know if I'm buying that. But okay, that's the story she want to go with. I don't know. I need an attorney to come up in here and vouch for that. Maybe I'll have to do some research. But anyway, let's get into our final topic. And let's talk about François Arnaud, who decided to throw a little shade at Clavicular, aka cardiovascular, who I like to call, because he was serving the runway, sweetie, and got called out basically. I was like, hold on, because I'm trying to pull the video up and it's acting a fool. Anyway, so he was doing this weird ass walk, and François threw some shade at him. So let's get into this story, because he was basically saying that, you know what, he has the charisma of Drywall and couldn't walk for shit. I still don't understand why y'all even had that boy there in the first place to do the modeling thing. Yes, he's attractive, and that's because he basically just beat himself in the face with a damn hammer. So if you could do that, you too would be out here. I don't know. For some reason, the video is not playing. But anyway, let's just get into the story. So just a week after Cardiovascular made his debut as a runway model at Paris Fashion Week, maybe just because they wanted the controversy, he and Rivalry star François Arnaud decided he had something to say about the self-proclaimed looks-maxing influencer. Looks-maxing. And without much effort, the comment the actor posted on his social media, first supported by Buzzing Pop, has blown up the internet. Over the weekend, Arnaud commented on a post about Clav's walk, describing it as when you hit your head too hard with a hammer and you've gotten rotten ideas, but also the charisma of Drywall. Now, some cheered, others asked, why bother? However, the vast majority seemed uninterested in why the 40-year-old Arnaud would post and then delete a comment about the 20-year-old quasi-celebrity. That is a good question, because it's like, Yeah, Clavicular is an acquired taste. There's a lot of people who know him on social media, whatever. But why would you even spend the time and the energy even wanting to bring him up or make a little shady comment? But you know how the homosexuals are. Well, he says he's bisexual. So, that's basically what he's gonna, focus on or whatever the case is. And I'd be like, Chad, you got bigger fish to fry than sitting up here worrying about what this boy is out here doing. I was like, why is this? Let me see if I can get it to work again. Whatever, I give up. But I'm sure if y'all look up on social media, you'll see it or whatever. Yeah, so now some people say he clocked him. Bro has charisma of a bamboo stick. Another person, LMAO, we need more celebs doing this. To be honest, these incels absolutely cannot stand being laughed at. Another person, honestly refreshing, seeing a white queer that isn't thirsty after a neo-Nazi with ironic jokes. And then another person said, François is 40, absolutely mogs Clavicular into the dust. Now, for the one or two unfamiliar, Cardiovascular, whose real name is Braden Peters, somehow slid from a dark corner of the internet into the mainstream by promoting looks maxing, which is a loosely defined subculture focused on improving physical appearances through methods ranging from fitness and grooming to more extreme interventions. His content has included so-called hard maxing techniques such as bone smashing, a pseudo-scientific practice that involves repeatedly striking the face to try to alter its shape, as well as the use of anabolic steroids and other substances to change his body. And speaking of drugs, that's just one headline among many in several months of controversies. They include this past April's drug OD that put him in a hospital as outreported, a criminal case involving a dead alligator that was ruled on by a hunky judge, another one in which he claimed self-defense for running over a man during a live stream, and that time he repeatedly injected his then underage girlfriend with aesthetic enhancements. A film shrine at thetab.com noted the influencer would likely be the first to admit he lacks charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. Something they said, I said the rest. They just said charisma. Something seen throughout his streams from the French capital. And then there was one where they said in which he's shown trying and failing. Oh yeah, there was one that I saw this video of him trying and failing to try to talk to this girl who was a bartender. And like, excuse me, I don't want you to know that you're really pretty. And this chick was just like, leave me alone, sir. Wait, actually, I got that video to work. So let's play that one and we'll come back and talk.
I don't mean to bother you while you're working, but you're very pretty. I said I don't mean to bother you while you're working, but you're very pretty.
Nachos with tequila sauce. Yeah, thank you. What are you doing? What are you doing tonight?
I hate when people. Oh, hey, ladies. What's up? Oh, no English? Wow. I want to give you guys some roses.
Of course.
You guys look very beautiful. So, hey, if you want to roll with us, we're gonna head to one of the clubs.
Yeah, we got better plans than whatever you'll have planned.
Promise you that.
What are your plans?
Nah, you tag along and find out.
Listen, yeah, you just gotta look at us and trust us a little bit. What do you think?
So there lies the problem. Y'all have no game. It don't matter like how good looking you are. Tag along with us and you'll find out. Like, first of all, that's not how you approach women. Giving them a corny ass dollar rose or 50 cents and bending to my, well, yeah, come in the car with us. Like, they see what y'all trying to do. Y'all acting like a bunch of sex traffickers. So y'all got no game. And this is why a lot of y'all are alone beating your damn meat on Chatterbait with a Omabot up your ass.
If you want to take a leap of faith that will show you a good time, then tag along. Whatever. We'll grab one of your numbers. If not, have a good rest of your night.
Thank
All right.
you. We have
We're
other
good.
friends coming. We'll see with them.
All right.
Well,
You're lost.
yeah, we'll let you guys have a good day.
Because French girls are different also, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
In Miami, you go up, you say,
First of all, this little tall, goofy ass one. Why he look
hey,
like?
slut, you want
Why he look like it could be one of them Trump kids? Or is it just me?
to fuck? And it works.
Yeah, he doesn't work like that.
I was gonna say I've been having a good time though. French girls are pretty, you know, like yourself. So, said, how are you enjoying your night so far?
It's okay, but
Well, let's make it a little better than okay. Why don't you guys come with us? We'll take you to the club. It's gonna.
You can clearly see by her body language that, like, when she's like this, she's completely. That's a sign of being completely closed off. She's not interested. But of course, because he's hit himself in the head with a hammer so goddamn much, he doesn't even see the signs or even noticing like this girl don't want your ass.
It's gonna be a lot more fun than whatever you have planned. Well, you don't trust me?
I don't know.
I'll show you guys a good time. Plus, it's nice to walk around with a pretty girl. So, plus, it's nice to walk around with a pretty girl.
I didn't drink enough.
You didn't drink enough?
She said, I didn't even drink enough to even looking at your ass and being like, yeah, I want to go home with you. She's like, no, I'm gonna maybe have a couple of glasses of wine before I even consider getting my cheeks clapped.
Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you.
What's your
You
name?
have very pretty eyes. I like that. How you doing?
I just said when I walked in, I saw
nice.
you. You look cute.
So your first, what's your name, sorry?
Cloud.
So then, that's
Cloud?
nice. You speak French, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm known for, like live streaming.
Yeah. I'm just spectating.
If you want to join me and him, we'll show you a good time later.
I'm hanging out with my friends right now.
Hey, listen, I said later. You know, if you want to come to the clubs, that's totally fine. If not, all good. All right, take care. Bye.
Take care.
Yeah, she wasn't feeling us. Sorry.
Yeah.
Really? Really? No IOI? Bro, whenever I walk by a girl and there's no IOI, I'm like, what the fuck am I being trolled? Like, they must be a lesbian. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So now the girls got to be lesbians because they don't want to look at somebody that literally looks like walking plastic and has got the personality of a dildo. It's like, boy, you are so corny and you're so lame, and that goofy ass Trumpian kid, y'all just so damn goofy. Just go home and beat y'all dicks because no nobody with some sense even want to be fucking with y'all. So yeah, there you have it. Clavicular getting rejected for 2 minutes. And then walking a runway in Paris thinking he hot shit. But he said that he be injecting testosterone I don't understand why somebody who's young is injecting testosterone in their body as a teen, and described using drugs as part of a broader regimen aimed at achieving what he calls the ideal physique. So he's using testosterone, he's using steroids, all these things to maintain a body when he just didn't even wait for his body to develop naturally before he started using these things. I was watching this video on Instagram of a guy who was talking about, I think it was this kid that was talking about, he said he was working out at the gym and he overheard this kid that had to be in his 20s talking about that he got his poppers, he got his weed, he got all these other things that he's getting ready to get he wants to go and get hunched. And it's like, why are y'all, and Viagra, I think it was somebody using it, why in your 20s you should not, first of all, y'all dick should be getting hard naturally. You have to worry about your testosterone levels going down and when you're in like your early 30s or whatever the case is. Like when you're like 32, 33, that's when all your testosterone levels start to deplete. And then maybe you should go to the doctor and make sure like to get those levels up. But when you're in your 20s and you're putting all this stuff in your body, you don't realize what you're doing, and it's causing all these issues where you have erectile dysfunction at a young age, and you're doing all this stuff to yourself, and you're not allowing your body to flush out the toxins. I am so glad that I'm of a generation that I wasn't doing all this crazy stuff. I'm not sitting there saying like people in my generation didn't use steroids and things when they were young, but I'm just glad I never got caught up in putting all these chemicals and stuff in my body, because it's like you don't realize the overall damage that you're going to do to yourself down the road. And it's just sad to see, this boy's a mess. So yeah, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story overall? Whatever they are, let me know in the comments down below. All right. So you said, why did an already conventionally attractive man get plastic surgery? He looks better before, and that, yeah, it looks crazy. And it might be, you know, when you're, it might be body dysmorphia. You know, when people look at you like, you know, when you actually looked good the way you were, and then that's not how you see it because of whatever trauma you've had to deal with when you were younger, where people probably, you know, whatever childhood trauma it is, people probably made fun of you because you're too short or you're too skinny or you're too this and your nose is too big or your lips are too thin or, you know, whatever stuff that you get. And people go, you know what, now that I got the money, I'm gonna just go doing all this stuff to my body and I like how it looks, so now I'm gonna keep it up and I want to change this and I want to have this thing. And then you just over here looking over plasticized. So it's crazy. Seeing everyone talking about looks maxing in 2026 is making 2023 me feel a spotlight is on me. Charm, charisma, and looks can all fade. And yeah, and you got to realize, look, Judge Judy said it best: beauty fades, but dumb is forever. So you could sit and run around here and have all the looks and everything, but you got to be able to have something to fall back on. I mean, you could always be charismatic and charming. You know, that will get you along, make you go a long way. It's just that when they were trying to be charismatic and charming and stuff, it just felt disingenuous. And them girls just seen through the bullshit because they knew what it was. Like, it just came across as forceful and desperate. That's why I was like, I'm a live streamer. She's probably looking like, okay, well, get a real job. I mean, I live stream too, but it's like, I'm not going to lead with that. Oh yeah, I'm a live streamer. I just run my mouth online and says a bunch of damn nothing. Yeah, because I would have liked to have seen what he looked like before. He said, don't fix what's not broken, but this man got a rhino. Yeah, that, when you seen that nose, that, like, it's giving Pinocchio. Like, why is your nose so damn thin? It's giving like, you've got Michael Jackson's nose. Anyway, all right, y'all. So it looks like we are at the end of today's show. I want to thank you all for tuning in to today's episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Hit that like button, subscribe, smash the notification bell, hype the channel, do all the things that normally needs to be done, puts the show out there if you have not done it already. I want to thank you all for tuning into today's show. I also want to thank Alán for stopping by and promoting Rico Starr. Definitely go check out that website and see if there's any products over there that y'all want to get and things of that nature. So yeah, love you all for watching. Thank you for continuing support. I will be back on tomorrow because, you know, it is going to be gay Christmas. Oh, sorry, homosexual Christmas up in here because, you know, album is coming out in a couple of hours. And so we got to talk about it. I got something to say about it if you believe in love. So yeah, love you all for watching. Thank you for continuing support. And until until tomorrow. Until next time. Ciao, darlings.